Yeah. Give me a quick little session in before I leave. I was gonna take a break today, but I said, forget it. Might as well. See if I get these invites out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give it a follow. Give it a love. To show. Y'all coming up in here, man. Hit them likes, man, and share, man. Let's talk about these delusional people that want us to follow after what they say, man. It's because they want to live in their own matrix, their own little world. You know what I'm saying? Let's see something real quick. Hit them likes and shares for me, man. Real quick. Hit the likes and the shares. It's gonna be interesting, man. I got a few hours. Send some more of these invites out myself. Send a few of these invites out myself. I guess that's it right there. If you're allergic to accountability, this is not the room for you. You know what I'm saying? So if you love staying in your own world, this is not for you. It's just a warning. You know what I'm saying? This is not a safe space. It's a world where we try to live good, not just feel good. You know, people don't know what that is, man. Everybody be caring about, I need my feelings to be validated and all this stuff. This ain't it, man. I don't even recommend an app to even validate your feelings on, man. You need counselor for that. Get you some real life one-on-one counseling or something, you know. Stop using this app for that. This ain't it. This ain't it, man. But yeah, we got to talk about the people that want us to, live in their own la la land. We got to follow it, man. People that be uh want to act like they just the supreme, and so we got to just, respect that they supreme. You know what I'm saying? I am this. Call me that. So you got to see me the same way I see me. That's crazy. It's funny, man. So, man, just because you choose to live in delusion, that doesn't mean everyone has to follow, man. I don't know why they got this entitlement that you must follow and revolve around. The world should revolve around me and my way of thinking. I don't know about that. And they're gonna be the main people that be hurt. You know what I'm saying? Why you not believing the way I believe? Why you not? Why you not on the same boat as me? You must be against me because you don't think the same way. Yeah, that's crazy. But I think like people that's like that, you gotta let them fall on their face on their own, man. That's what it is. Just because you see something as delusion doesn't mean could be your delusion. Where that come from? You must have got called that a lot. Or you must have said that. That's I've never heard that one. He must have got called delusional a lot. So that's the only person that say something like that. Peanut, what's the deal, man? You feel it? But basically we know the difference between reality and delusion. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing like just like facts is facts. We can't just make up some stuff and say this. Oh, it's my opinion is a fact. Facts is facts. So that's the difference between somebody want to use their opinion over a fact. That's called a delusion. So yeah, twisting 1+1 and saying it's something else. So I don't think nothing delusional about that. So yeah, I mean, I think that word itself, you can't make it fit a certain narrative. I don't even think that's even. I don't think that's subjective either. I think it's kind of objective. Uh, the way people use it, right? I mean, I can get them using it wrong though, but I think the word itself is an objective thing because it is delusional to think 1+1 = 4. That's illusion. That's the fact. That's what I'm saying, right? So if I'm talking about delusion, it's obvious I'm talking about facts. It ain't, I will only think that somebody will come up with that unless they live in a delusion themselves and they want people to fit their narrative. That's why they would come with that. 'Cause it's your truth and my truth here, people. You know what I'm saying? That's how that be. So, it's truth to certain situations that you can't change. You can't switch it up and say, that don't because I had my attitude problem is different from your attitude. It don't work like that. The attitude is an attitude at the end of the day. You can't say you happy and you like facts is facts. That's just how it is, man. But like I said, the people that want to twist it up to make it seem like because of their way of thinking or the way they feel, that's a whole different thing. It don't work like that. People got to learn that you can't make stuff fit your narrative to change what it is. That's just how that's it's crazy. One would have to be highly enlightened to always be based on fact. I don't know. If you missing the point, it is what it is. I don't know. If you ain't get it, if you don't get it, then you don't know the difference between delusion and reality. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not talking about the fake stuff or the fake, the people that use stuff the wrong. It's like people be saying that I'm accountable, but then they blame everything on everybody else. It's like a hypocrite type situation. So that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm out. It's either you understand the topic or not. You know what I'm saying? I ain't bring this up to to be like, oh, there's different ways of delusion. Either you get it or not. But this in general, right? The people that think 1+1 = 4, that's what we talking about. And because they feel like it's 4, that don't mean it's 4. That's called delusion. And that's a fact. So it don't work like that. It don't. See something real quick. But yeah, just because, and my whole point on this is because even the people that want to change definition to fit they narrative or their way of living, that don't mean that anybody have to either believe it or follow it just because it come out their mouth. And that's just stuff I be trying to put in people's mind because people be getting hurt because, oh, why you don't believe me and all that stuff like that. Ain't nobody, especially since we just use that word, I know. But I don't, why they think that people is entitled to believe in anybody. I can make up anything. Nobody don't have to believe me. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody's choice to believe or not. You can't really take it personal because you got to realize every human got a mind of their own. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, people get hurt by that. Why you trying to do? You trying to say it's my? You know what I'm saying? That's what they believe. If they feel like it's your fault, people be getting hurt on that stuff. What are you trying to say? It's my fault or victim blaming and all that stuff? If that's what they feel, that's what they feel. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody on this earth is built to trust everybody. If anybody trusts everybody all the time, that's naive. That's a horrible way of living. I supposed to believe you because you. Like I really know you. You know what I'm saying? People don't even know themselves. Shoot, people lie to themselves. Can hardly believe yourself sometimes, That junk change. But we can't, we gotta, I don't know. And I would say just avoid people that's like that, man. Because once people make their own world and stuff, and you can't, try to, help them out or try to convince them of a different way of looking at things, or trying to look really focus on reality rather than living in the matrix. That's the background right there for you. You can't help them. I mean, they just gonna have to be lost. Like everybody, and that's why I say many of times that, and that's what I realize even on this app. Even if I want to help millions of people or so many people, I mean, it's not guaranteed. That don't mean that it's gonna happen, and I'm fully aware of it. Everybody do not belong on the same boat. That's just what it is. And also, that's a true statement. Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive, man. Some people are just here to we all here to impact each other in some type of way. We either something to learn from, grow from, or adapt with. That's just what it is, or every scenario, you know. So, you know, I think the goal is not trying to stress over so many things that we don't have control over, you know. But yeah, and people be trying to make stuff up to. That's what you know. That's why I like putting that word on, because people get triggered by that word because that's what they living in. When you get triggered by it, that means you dang near living it most of the time. You probably got called it so many times, so nah, it offends you. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, in a way, you can't really blame them all the way, because it's just the way they got brought up. I mean, it's like half and half. But it's like once you try to bring awareness to it, and they choose to stay in that way, you know, they far from there. Like some people do have to learn on their timing and stuff, but even that, like I will recommend or suggest that, you know, try to figure things out or understand other people, man, rather than just sitting here looking to be understood. I think that's like one of the the best ways of learning and building wisdom and all that stuff. That's actually how that's how I just try to live it. You know, I be love learning a lot. I think I love learning more than teaching most of the time. So, because it make you move like you cruise in life. You move a little smoother in life and stuff. So you look at things in a better way and realize, try to understand the best way you can. But yeah, I mean, people be making up new stuff every day, and then they feel like it's up for us to follow it. This is call this a chicken when it's really a dog or something like that. Like, bro, that's why do I gotta follow that? I gotta follow something else because to make you feel good. Like that's just crazy, and that's the world we living in. We gotta live in off of people's feelings because people so scared and getting so much soft nowadays. We gotta follow them so they don't. You know what I'm saying? That's some crazy stuff. But the feelings make money. People gonna realize that the world, all this canceling people and all this stuff, and you know, trying to silence people for speaking some type of truths and stuff. They don't really like people. They don't care about your feelings for real. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, as long as you stay in your feelings and doing different things, that's making money in their pocket. So they gonna try their best, like because they know your feelings gonna get you to buy more drinks and stuff and get unhealthy and send you to the hospital, all that stuff. So I mean, system know what it's doing at the end of the day. Get to you by your feelings. But dang, I gotta send some more invites. But let me see. So, but yeah, it's just I think about this whole thing. It's just I think it's kind of sad though, because it'd be like how do but everybody brain operate different, I guess. Everybody mind operate different and everything. So um it's like you do gotta just let people live in their own world. But then at the same time, it's like they be trying to understand other worlds or your world and stuff. But then again, It's like, but then they want to fight it. They want to fight it off and don't want to hear anything but themselves and stuff. So, like I said, it's like I even with me, right? Everybody do have their own tolerance bar. I got my own tolerance bar. And it's like there's only so much you could put up with when people want to live in their own lane rather than try to look at things differently. So, uh, you do what you can because, like I said, out of natural care of being just a caring human being, um, I mean, you could try to help somebody and move on. That's all it is. That's all you can do. You could just try and then go have to get up out of there because, like, if you stay with a person that want to live in their own lane all the time or this different type of mindset, that's gonna bring you down to a certain point because you're trying so hard, you're putting all this extra energy in something that ain't. It's like talking to a wall all day. It's like dang near wasting wasting your energy and stuff. But dang, now my stomach hurt. What's the deal, Marissa? How you feeling? Yeah, I try to do me a few hours before I get on here. My room was just at like 100 and something with everybody that dropped out. It's like, dang, I'm delusional. I can't be in. It's like, nah. But yeah, this joke is wild. It's getting crazier and crazier. I think even the world itself is trying to, advocate and enhance this delusional mindset. And get people to live in, hey, you know what? Because I feel a certain way. It's the way you should adjust to the way I feel, and it's facts. You know what I'm saying? It's facts because I feel this way. Like, man, imagine a world we can do that. What if I say I feel like a millionaire and I could become it, and that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm Bill Gates, so let me go ahead and hit that bank account real quick. You know what I'm saying? They don't, they're just crazy. I'm exhausted after some of these lives today. Lord have mercy. Oh, you been over there getting toe up and stuff, man? I feel you, man. A lot of these lives be they talk about nothing for real. Talk about nothing for real. Or they just, trying to either trauma bond or pander a situation or just want to simply argue, you know. Shoot. And we know lives like this when we try to look for some, that jump be crazy, man. They be talking about we looking for solutions, but then you could sit here, set up a live, going back and forth all day, and that got no solution at the end. But all y'all doing is arguing all the time. It be fake, like they be putting false names on situations. They don't, they. I don't know, man. But that's the ones that want to reel you in because they want to get their numbers up. They get their numbers up and for nothing. I think a lot of people be using this app just to make money. That's all it is. They really ain't trying to help people like they say they is. They not. They just be talking, man. It just sound good. They trying to help themselves. Need some positivity. Oh, don't we all, man? We need it, man. A lot of people say they need it, but they don't want it bad enough. They don't even want they need bad enough. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people addicted to toxic. That's just like that. That's where the numbers is at. As long as you can say something um that can help them release their inner traumas or their inner stress, that's where they want to head to. That's why I realize what these trauma rooms are. You know what I'm saying? It tell a lot of hidden things that's within them, and they go in them type of rooms like, yeah, I feel this way, and still be off the app mad. Still be off doing the same thing. So you would get you a headache for nothing, and you still a miserable person when you get off the app. It's crazy. Let me see if I can invite some more people. We feel like everybody about to come in. It's the time I might have to get off because I got to get off this thing like about a couple hours. I got to get off. Let me see something. Invite a couple more people if I can. Boom, boom, boom. Give me a minute. Give me a second. Few people. Let me see. Give me a minute. I feel like I'm missing some people. I gotta send an invite to. I just sent it to them there. I feel like it was some more. I gotta send some too. I think. But yeah, man, it's just like I said. The more this world is so called, evolving and other stuff, it's like the more they trying to make us live a delusional life. You know what I'm saying? They actually they promoting delusion itself. That's just what it is. But the more you, like I said, they gonna allow certain things. I even be saying just because things is law, that don't make it right. Just because it's acceptance to certain things, that don't make it right either. As long as they can keep the world confused and separated as much as they can, this more they's gonna keep this. The money revolving. The greedy people stay greedy. All that situation. So at the end of the day, people, as much as everybody be thinking that everybody care about them, it don't work like that. People don't care for real. They don't. It's a survival type life, man. People gonna do what's best for them, and it's gonna help them and theirs. All this we be trying to look for validation online and stuff, but the real talk, everybody really care about their life for real. If we want to get, because all of us going to the grave alone, on our own. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, of course, we gonna help when we can. We got to worry about our lives first. That's just with everybody. But some people are just so selfish to a point that, they're willing to step on toes to get what they need to get. That's just the life we live in, man. Some people go over and beyond as long as then this stuff mean nothing when you hit that grave, though. That's one thing they don't understand. All this richness, all this, all that stuff don't go nowhere. It goes right in the grave. So all you and your money and your way of thinking and stuff, that junk is gonna be having worms sucking on it when you 6 feet under. That's just how it is. All the stuff we be trying to do. That's why I tell people to try to live their life, live day by day. Make the best out of each moment you wake up. Let go of the past. Anything that's holding you back in your anger and stuff, you gotta let that stuff go. People say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it on my timing and stuff." Well, you ain't. My thing is, everybody keeps saying that, but tomorrow is not a promise to nobody. You literally can, you know, lose yourself, or you can ideas. So everybody want to say, "Oh, my timing, I'm gonna do it when I feel like," and all that stuff. Nothing is promised. Nothing is promised to you. So, like, I would recommend to do it as fast as you can, or get yourself together, change, or try to at least go to bed with a smile if you can, or find a smile somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because like. Chuck is crazy. AJ, little head in the building. What's the deal? You just snuck up on me like that. Mm-hmm.
What's that?
How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. Just
Okay.
gonna listen to you for a bit so I get the context as to what you was talking about. Because that is a very broad statement, my guy.
What's that?
Like what you mean by delusion? That could be a broad statement.
You said a
Like what
broad
exactly you talking about?
delusion.
Give me an example.
I think delusion is just like a people that so I put the matrix in the background. People that don't live in reality. People that want to make up stuff and you got to follow it. People that don't live off facts. When people that say 1 + 1 = 4 and we got to follow because they say it's 4.
Hey, bro, you got that wrong, right? 2 + 2 = fish, and I can
Oh,
prove it.
dang, you do right. You right. I did not
Just
think about
kidding.
that. I did not think about that. That's crazy. I forgot about the
I
fish part. That
mean,
was the new thing too. I forgot. Let me make
yes.
sure I say fish before I get canceled.
There you go. There you go.
I don't want to get reported for hate speech. 1 + 1 = fish.
That part.
But yeah, I was somebody did come in here today. It's like, well, that's a subject. I think, you know, I don't know. I think it's subjective the way people use it, right? But I think it's an objective thing because reality is reality. Even though everybody can, you can, just the way you
Perception
look at
is
it. But
reality.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you on that.
Somebody's perception, so knowing that we have different perceptions, that could be a reality. So it's not necessarily that it's super objective. It is subjective to a point, but there is like a definite point of living in a realistic time frame, right? So for example, if I'm like, hey, I want to, I don't know, be able to run a mile in under 6 minutes, and I'm gonna do so with 1 week of training. That's very unrealistic, right? I'm not gonna be
You're
able to
right.
train to be able to run that in a week, right? That may take months, or
Mm-hmm.
years even, right? Depending on me. So that's the reason why I was saying, like, in what context? Because if we're talking about like in a general, like normal social setting, then yeah, I 100% agree. Like people need to kind of live more realistically. But if we're talking about just like, okay, what I consider delusional may not be delusional to the next person. So that's why I was asking. So it depends.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. I feel you. I guess. I guess.
So
Uh,
I guess that's why I was like, what in what connotation are you talking about? Like, give me an example.
um. Okay. Say a person that's. Let me see. I'm gonna think of something though. I'm trying to think of an
Okay,
example.
would you say that people are delusional, say, in dating?
Yeah, with this. Okay, with like standards. I guess the way they standards is, I need this, all this, and stuff, and I need a person to do all this while I be this way type situation, or looking for a perfect person. Dang.
Yeah.
All people that call themselves 10, they go another one.
Yeah,
Because ain't no person perfect. No person perfect. That's pure delusion to think that.
exactly.
Um, Let me see. I think of some more. Um, I think you did a good one too about the people that run.
Yeah. Well,
That
it's
one
like
I
that's
made a
just like a
mistake and
health.
typed it sounded wrong. Remember you thought I said
Yeah.
a run forward, but I was talking about the treatment.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's just the. I think like people. I guess if we're talking about in the context of delusion, like in the way that you're the way you're kind of using it, like yeah, when it comes to fitness goals, people are very delusional about that.
Oh, she got a good one down there. I'm gonna get a 6 pack in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get 6 pack in 3 days. I'm gonna my New Year's resolution, like even New Year's resolutions, sometimes are delusional as shit. If you think about it, because like people only really stay focused on that for what, maybe about a month,
Hmm.
maybe two, and then you fell off
Exactly. And like
because
a
you thought it
consistency.
was unrealistic.
I think
You
a
know what I
person
mean?
that's really real about it, they start before the New Year's. They really gonna start at the moment. That's when you know they really just gonna last. Some people, a person that gotta wait on New Year's. Some people probably extended it, but I think a person that actually wait is less likely to keep up with it or be consistent with it.
Well, it's because of most people, right? If you keep putting it off for the next day, that's like
Mm.
putting something off for the next day, right?
Yeah,
Oh, well, I'm gonna start my diet on Monday. You ain't gonna start. You may start that diet on Monday, but you're gonna struggle. Versus like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I want the change. I'm gonna start that shit today.
exactly, exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Oh no, I'm gonna start Monday. I'm gonna start, at the beginning of the week. I'm gonna start the, and that's how New Year's resolutions for me kind of seem. Oh well, I'm gonna do this, right? Because anytime I've ever been motivated in my life and had a really good year from like January 1st till December 31st, I started way before January.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I probably started that probably in November because I just got tired of the shit. I'm
Facts.
tired of feeling upset and depressed all the time. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna touch some grass. I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna eat right. I didn't wait till New Year's. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start that January 1st. Nah, I just started that shit that day. Just like, look, I'm gonna start today, and we're just gonna keep moving, and that's what it is. But it's the same thing. Like I said, delusions really just depend also on that person. Because to sit there and say that we should never be delusional is delusional. We have delusions even without amongst ourselves, right?
I
You
think
know,
it's a
whether
difference between delusion and like imagination or like when we was kid. What is it we called?
future
Uh,
expectation.
huh?
What do
Say
you
it again.
mean? Well, like the example I was going to use is like, say, healing journeys.
Hmm.
A lot of people have delusions about that and think it's supposed to be linear, right? A lot of people think that you need to heal yourself completely before you end up with somebody else or around anybody else. You're never going to be able to do that because you're always going to be healing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that never ends.
Exactly.
But that shouldn't also become your entire personality to where that's all you focus on.
Facts.
Like you still need to go out and enjoy life. Like you can't just be focused on, oh, I'm just going to heal. I'm going to heal. You know, and no healing journey is linear. It's not
I'm at
just an
100%
activity.
now. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? But you get my point, though. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? And that I think is what causes victim mentality. I have this delusion that it's supposed to be linear for me, but it's not going linear for me. So now let me blame everybody else for the reason why it's not working out.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if you would look at what you know what I mean, if you'd actually pay attention, there's one common denominator. That common denominator is you.
Oh, they didn't
If
want to
things
hear
ain't
that one.
working out, is you. Not everybody else. It's you. And
Don't
that's my
make them
thing on
sweat
delusion.
like that.
Oh, I'm gonna make them sweat. It's Sunday. We preaching today. Let's get you right before Monday.
Gotta get a couple of those in.
I'm saying it's
Yeah,
Sunday. Let's fucking preach it, bro. We can't be over here tired, sitting here protecting everybody's feelings.
you're
That's
right.
delusional as hell if you think I'm gonna
Uh,
do that because I never
right.
do that.
Right, exactly. I'm not here to protect. I ain't say that.
You know what I mean, Kev ain't here to protect your little feelings. And
Man.
me, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you that's an issue, not an issue. Me,
Uh-oh.
your problem is not my problem, and I'm not gonna give a shit more about it than you are. Can't care
Mm-hmm.
more than you do.
You
But
want to look this up? Okay. I got
a
a cold
delusion.
laptop right here. I'm about to go get my phone. Let's actually look up this definition of delusional.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's why I said I was like, in what context is you talking about? Because if you just leave it broad like that, we could be talking about 1,000 different things. So, what
Yeah.
delusions are you focused on? Or let's talk about the illusions that maybe come around avoiding accountability, since we in an accountability room.
Mm-hmm. Common cause. Those are not always related to under what the brain damage.
Us work is empowering for women. I was on a live for that earlier. Wild.
Uh, Said it's over.
Um, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never done it, so I couldn't tell you.
You ain't show a
It's never
toe.
been
I
my
heard you
thing.
showing toes over there. You know what I'm saying?
Huh?
You had a couple toes online.
Well, on some, I mean, I thought about it. You know what I mean? Like I could use a new car or something, but go buy me a Tesla,
Oh my!
get that.
A heck of a toe.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Nah, no. Like I said, I've never done it. You know what I mean? So that's why it's kind of hard for me to kind of talk about that in particular because I've never been in that position. But I don't. I can't imagine it being something that a lot of women enjoy that have to do that. So I get it.
Delusions are type of abnormal thought contents involve false beliefs that are firmly held despite evidence to the contrary. Let me see something real quick.
You gonna read that to the class, Kev, or?
Oh, I thought I was loud with it. Oops. So I'm gonna say it over again. They say delusions are a type of abnormal thought content that involves false beliefs that are firmly held despite evidence to the contrary. Hmm. I think that's the way I was explaining a little earlier. Because I was a chick that came in here early, even though I was kind of halfway going off on her. Because I felt like she was trying to deflect. But she left, though. I think I made her
Okay.
mad. I'm like, dog, delusion is illusion. I was mad.
Oh Lord. Okay, what
I
happened
felt
in
like
that
it's an
situation?
objective thing. I guess it ain't. Let me see. I'm trying to see if it's. But I know the way people use it, though. That's why I felt it would be subjective the way people use it. But
Well,
I guess that's
yes,
kind of
but
like we
we
was talking about
also
that
need
leader
to
thing,
stop
though. When
pushing.
I was saying that was subjective
Yes,
too,
but
but a
we also
leader.
need to stop with the misinformation because people on this app misuse words all the time.
You're right.
Like, if you're gonna
It's
be better
delusion.
and you want to be better understood, you got to start using the right words. So let's use it in the way the word is intended. I don't care how other people are using it. That's just
Right.
me. If you're gonna want to have a conversation with me, you might want to either A, pick up a book and learn how to read, or two, buy a dictionary because you misuse a word, I'm gonna be very confused.
It's delusion. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. What the? Man, it's better to do it on the phone. I don't like doing it on this fat laptop.
Mm.
Uh, okay, including that. Man, I don't like. Yeah, I'm gonna use my
What?
phone. This laptop horrible. I don't like looking up stuff on a laptop now. I see that'll learn me something new. I would have thought that. Hold up, 1 second.
Take your time.
Yeah. Where am I? Where in the world? All right, we good now. Now I can look this up. I just wanted to see if it was. We gonna make sure though, but I know the way people use it though
Hmm.
is illusion. Mm, mm, mm.
Welcome in, everybody. If you can, tap the screen, share the live. If you have something to contribute to the topic, feel
Man,
free to
Spain,
come up
what
in
the-
the box
My
or
boy
drop
Zila in the building. What's the deal, man?
your opinions in the chat.
Where the respectable ones at, my brother? This dude be used to trigger everybody with the white tea women and everything. That dude be silly. He horrible. And they fall for it every time. What do you mean? I remember one time I said something, this one girl, after follow what he was saying, this one girl gonna get on me. Ain't nobody want you anyway. I'm like, yep, you that type of girl he talking about. There you go. Say less. I'm like,
That's
where
the
the
same
heck
reason
you
why I
come
don't
from?
use that all, not all, so and so. Fill in the
Right.
blank. Because that shit
Not
don't make no damn
all.
sense. I shouldn't even have to say that. If the shoe don't fit, don't worry about it.
Right. That's how you
If the
know.
shoe fit, boo boo, get to step and fix your shit. I
Right.
gotta sit here, correct my mouth, and say not all because I don't want to offend people I ain't even talking about. Not everything about you. If
Man.
you ain't who the fuck I'm talking about, you're not understanding, then it's probably not for you, boo boo. Not everything is for you. And I'm tired and I hate the fact that we live in a world where everybody thinks everything is for them and that they the main fucking character.
The
You're not the main
problem.
character
And
in
that's
anybody else's
delusion.
story. That part.
My boy Wolf in the building, boy.
But that's just me.
What's the
Sit
deal,
here, sip
man?
on.
What's going on with you though, Kev? How you
I'm
feeling,
trying to
fellas?
chop down these delusional people.
Oh my goodness, man. Thanks for having me on your live, man. I'm in here for a split second, you know what I'm saying? I got some business I gotta handle, but
Oh yeah.
always coming over here to talk to y'all, man, be crazy and fun. That's why I haven't went on live in a little bit though, since I got, you know what I'm saying, off my suspension or whatever, because it is highly delusional, man. It's crazy, brother. I don't know why people just, man. It's like they draw something and then just bring it to life.
It's
That's
because
what I'm
I'm
saying.
sorry.
everybody is running on a narrative that's in their head, and they need everything to fit said narrative. So
It's
if it don't fit said narrative, then you're delusional and you're unrealistic, and they got you a narcissist, you name it, because it didn't fit their narrative.
you. I mean, like you everything that they could possibly think of when you don't agree with them is. I mean, like
Exactly.
delusional type stuff. I mean, like I'm sorry, it's just some things, man, that just don't. It's a lot of stuff.
Makes
I
sense.
mean, that doesn't make sense. That they just truly, honestly believe wholeheartedly, and I'm like, you actually believe that you can grow wings out of your back? Like
Mm,
that? Like you actually believe that? Man, you actually
Mm-hmm.
believe that a unicorn is a horse? Like what? I mean, like we already know, man. That here's something that the people don't know. Unicorns do exist. People just think
Mm-hmm.
that they're horses with horns, but it's not. The scientific name for a rhinoceros is Rhinoceros unicornis.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. They do
Mm-hmm.
exist, but it's a rhinoceros. They think that it's a horse. How did it go from a being, a rhinoceros to a horse? Because they created it, and then they be laying there and say it's a mythical creature. They don't even know. They don't. I mean, like facts. Go study the facts. I mean, like then they create man, did you know that if you build a house out of wet napkins and toilet paper rolls, that you can have a mansion that's completely impenetrable to the military forces of Antarctica and stuff like that? Like, man, and people will believe it though. You get what I'm saying? This is for entertainment purposes only though, F1. But
F1. Right.
I mean, like in other words, just giving like, you know, some things about delusional things, man. Like, I'm sorry, man. It's just completely delusional for me. For me, this is my personal opinion, which is a lot of people will agree with it. I'm not about to wake up the next day and think that I can have a child. It's not
Mm-hmm.
gonna. I mean, like that's completely delusional to me. Like,
Uh-oh. We getting sorted now. Really, I put the F1 in here.
Mm-mm.
F1.
No,
I
no,
mean,
I
like.
like it. Keep it going, because you know what the kid
I
said.
mean, like I can't
What do you
grow. I
say?
can't. I'm not gonna wake up and think that the next day, and then actually believe that it's true, man. Because I know I ain't got the hips for that. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? I
Better
got
pop it
the
out that Peter, man.
yeah, man.
That sound like pain. Oh, my.
Yeah, man. I don't have, what I'm saying, the necessary equipment for things like that to happen, but to be actually believe that I can, man, that's delusional on my behalf. I mean, like I can't go there and walk in the bank. I mean, like I know I'm not some multimillionaire and walk up in the bank and be like, "Hey, look, you got to give me this loan because I feel like I'm a multi-billionaire. Just give it to me." And they get like, "Nah, we ain't gonna give it to you." I'm like, "Man, you delusional because I am." Like, man, my status don't show that.
What's the deal, DD?
I
I
guess my
mean,
question is, so I got a question then. How do you think we got here as just
Mm?
people? How do you think we got to this just such a delusional state?
we got here in this such delusional state because people became agreeable and
Oh,
they actually felt like, man, if I don't agree with it, then I don't fit. I don't
Mm-hmm.
fit with this. Everybody want to be part of something. So if they want to be part of that, they agree with the stuff that they talk about in order just to be a part of it. And they want to be the same cookie cutter type person instead of being themselves and using their own brain. So we got to this point because people want to fit in. They don't want to be left out. So they'll believe anything just to fit in. That's just my personal,
I don't know. I find it kind of funny.
F1.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it because I feel like it's kind of funny, right? Like you can jump on this app and you'll hear everybody talking about how individual they are, right? I'm an individual. I'm a unique person, but they all the same.
Of course, they all the
They
same. It
almost
just,
cookie cutter to each other.
man. I mean, like it's just like them houses you see, or the, or apartment complexes. Everybody the same. You know, everybody the same. They like, man, I gotta fit in. I gotta believe this. I gotta no, that is the truth. I'm like, so you actually gonna go against your common sense, knowing people think that they could it's so delusional. For an example, that some people think they could breathe underwater. Go ahead and
Mm.
try it. You ain't got gills, but go ahead and breathe underwater
Like,
and see how long you last, you know. But
like I
if
think
somebody
for
come up
I
with
think
this, well, the studies has proved that you can't breathe, and do you know how many people will believe it and actually go try it?
see, but I think that's the problem, right? There's two things. Like one, you can find anything on the internet to back anything, right? If I want to back that human beings came from a pile of spaghetti, I can find evidence to back that, right? Quote unquote on the internet. Let's be real. You can. I'm not lying. You can. You can do that. Granted, obviously, I don't believe that we came from a pile of fucking spaghetti. That's stupid. But I think for me, I think it's more or less just like with social media and the ability to live almost in a fantasy, an
Mm.
alternate reality, we've kind of infected ourselves with that. And that's the
Yeah,
reason why you have people who are running to extremes on things that they're delusional about, right?
man.
Because it's not in their real life. We don't even live in real life anymore, right? Most people don't even have friends in real life. Most people have friends that are online
This
majority of
is
the time.
facts. This is facts. And
You know what
and
I
you know
mean?
what?
Because doing it in real life is hard.
But you know what though, AJ? Another thing that makes certain people delusional is that they think that, like with social media, they think that because 213,000 people following them are really their friends.
That
Right.
part,
I
yeah.
said that too.
You know, man, look at my
That part.
friend. Look how
I
many
think people
friends
really
I
care about
look how many friends I got on Facebook. Look how many friends I got. I'm like, they not your friends, man. But they delusional to make people, for people to think that they are. I mean, like
it.
me and Kev, like for instance, me and
Mm-hmm.
Kev, we understand. We got a different thing. Me and Kev is like really friends for real though. You know, I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not finna look at him and be like, well, my other 2,000 followers I got, we all friends. No, we're not. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's delusional to think that your how many friends you got on social media or people that's following you actually dictate reality in your life.
Hey, what's
Facts.
going on,
That's
everybody?
crazy. People
How
actually
y'all doing?
live on the internet and thinking that that is a real thing. Like they don't even leave the house because they like, man, the only friends I got is on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. But like, man, are you serious? Like, are you kidding me? I wonder what your
Mm-hmm.
social skills is like though. Can you dig it? like nah, I
But that's
mean,
like, yeah. And I've kind of noticed that too. Is like I've noticed a lot of people, especially people who are like that, where their entire life or persona, quote unquote, is online. They don't do a whole lot in real life. Like they struggle. You know what I mean? These are usual people that they say the same MO. I have extreme social anxiety. You have extreme social anxiety because you don't have practice of going out there and being around other people, right?
no, not at
Anybody's
all.
gonna have anxiety, especially like if you think about, when we were all in lockdown. When we were all in lockdown and forced to stay away from everybody, right? For the most part, of course, when we started to integrate back, right? I'll admit it, I had some anxiety with that because I hadn't been around people in, months, right? I hadn't been in a store with a bunch of people. I hadn't been, you know what I mean, in a restaurant. I hadn't done any of that. So of course I'm gonna have anxiety,
Right.
right? But I was willing to work through that anxiety because I'm an in real life person, right? This meeting people online and having friends, that was just something that I learned how to do via COVID. Prior to that, I was not this person. I don't
F1.
give a shit about social media.
Yeah, I
You see what I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah, but it's people that literally make social media their life. Like if
I
their
thought that shit
account
was
got
trash.
deleted, boy, their whole life just went all. Oh my God, I can't believe my account
Yeah.
got. I'm like, really though, fam? Like that's how you feel? Like them people didn't even know you anyway. And then they think that because they put their personal life out there, people really like them. Man,
Right.
nah, like, what are you doing? I mean, like,
No, it's
that's why I
still.
don't understand why people put their every move on social media. I just cracked an egg. I'm scrambling the egg. I'm adding salt and pepper to the egg. I am putting the egg in a skillet. I am now watching the egg bubble. I am now flipping the egg over. I have now added parsley flakes to the egg. I am now spatulizing
Mm-hmm.
the egg. I am now taking the egg out. I'm like, what do you want people to know your step by step move? And it's not
Well,
like,
That's cool.
what that is it's serotonin, right? Scientifically, it's been proven when you get a like on a social media app, right? Whether it's likes on TikTok, likes on Facebook, likes on Instagram, it does send serotonin to your brain.
Yo, and
And
the
that is
fact
what
that
people are
these
addicted to. They're addicted to that serotonin.
y-
And the thing is that you can get serotonin from other places in life that is natural.
nature,
That's not serotonin overload, right? It's
Mm.
serotonin overload when you're online because you're not really doing anything,
and then
right?
you
And you can always tell that
desensitize
those are the
yourself to
people who sit
feeling it.
around and they're waiting. You know what I mean? Those are the people who sitting around. They post a video on here and it didn't get enough likes. It should be at more likes. Why is nobody watching the video? Oh my God, did I get shadow banned? And they freak the fuck out.
I mean,
For what?
to me,
Like,
Say
Was
some of
ZD
serotonin.
these
saying
companies,
something? I couldn't
these
tell if
social
he was
media
saying
companies,
something.
they notice.
Oh,
Yeah, can you hear
I hear
me?
you a little bit. You was
Oh, I
low.
can hear you
Can you hear
now.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry if you were talking.
yeah, my bad.
I no, it's good. I'm in the sauna, so you probably can't hear me that good because I'm in the sauna. Like just so if you can't hear me, I'll drop down. But man,
I hear you.
this is like my topic, man, because these delusions are led by a lot of the delusions that people are living in. They're living in these delusions in a group, which makes them feel real. Uh, because they have an echo chamber telling them that yeah, this is the truth. We know a bunch of subcultures online that's like that. Uh, but these delusional people, man, like they're being led by someone that's more delusional than themselves. Uh, that's called delusion. They we having something called delusions of grandeur, which you will see anyone that's a quote unquote leader online. You can see the rise and fall, and it all comes with the amount of attention and money that they start getting. I have yet to see anyone that was proclaiming to be like the next found leader or teacher, scholar, whatever, that was trying to do something, and then after they made it to the Breakfast Club, they actually completed their task.
Mm.
I haven't seen one, and I think because they become delusional and thinking that people supposed to do or say certain things to them for them, and they just end up living in the lifestyle of celebrity. So everything that's going towards them that's supposed to go towards the cause is going towards them getting to this city to make this speech that they not getting paid for. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not your job, it's your hobby. You keeping up, you traveling cross country for clout. Oh no, I don't charge my people. No, I don't charge my people to speak. I'll come to your book show, your as long as I can sell merch. I'm all right. But you didn't got cashed out $10,000 because I'm on my way to Virginia and I need to find a way to get there type shit. You ain't saying it, but you online for 10 hours damn near in like 2 days, knowing that you gonna get donations because you got a school, church, book, whatever it is that you trying to quote unquote build. And I believe most of them started out really wanting to do that. And it ain't that it got away from them and they didn't know how to. They ended up living in the delusion with other people when they were trying to
Mm.
wake people up out of it.
That's the cultural illusion effect, too.
I
For
mean,
those of
like,
you who don't know what a cultural illusion is, a cultural illusion is when an individual does or believes something that they think that the masses believe, right? A prime example of that would be, the prime example of that would be kind of before COVID, right? In order to be happy, right, or be successful to get the American dream, you have to have the house, the wife, and the two kids and the two cars in the
2.5
driveway,
kids, the
the
dog.
2.5
Yeah.
kids, and that means that you made it and you were happy, right? People really did believe this. Now, they didn't believe this as individuals, but they believed it and they went with it because they felt like that was the popular norm, right? And this is what cultural illusions do. Now, cultural illusions are a mixture of that plus echo chambering, right? And so on and so forth. So we're constantly walking around in this quote unquote maze of mirrors, or what I like to call the maze of mirrors, smoke, mirrors, and delusion, right? So you're walking around through delusional thinking already, and it's just getting worse because people are playing into it,
Yeah,
right? So you
validating it.
have women, right? You have women on here who think, okay, well, especially on Instagram, oh, I got to be an Instagram model. Y'all remember those days? Every fucking woman was a
They
goddamn
still here.
Instagram model. Did she necessarily want that? No. Matter of fact, there's been tons and tons and tons of accounts where that have come out after that of how miserable a lot of those women who were successful in that were, right? How unhealthy it was. They weren't eating regularly because they were trying to keep up images, so on and so forth. And then you have the Chris Watts case, which is another prime example of that, right? A lot of pressure to put on not only a family, but she's putting all that pressure on her husband. And I'm not sitting there saying that it's right, but he went AWOL and, took out his whole family. He's not the only one to do that. That's the funny part. He's not the only one. So, these cultural illusions do play a toll, but it's when people start waking up and they kind of start pointing out the bullshit is when we can start to shatter that. Right? So having these types of conversations does help
Till you
because,
get canceled.
well, I mean, they gonna cancel you, fine, whatever. But again, it's enough to break it, right? Because if you really think about it, if we actually break it, all these things that we all want, right? At the end of the day, which are all humane things, right? We all want better cost of living, we want better health care, even social issues, police brutality, so on and so forth. We all want all that shit to stop, right? At the end of the day, we all deep down, we all want that shit to stop. It's not going to as long as we keep holding up these delusions. You see what I'm saying? This is where breaking this shit comes in, because once you break it,
Oh, all right, Wolf.
we can do it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel we can get through to some people, man. Hopefully, some people ain't too
But that's
far
how it
down
starts.
and
It ain't
deep into
gonna.
the
You're not
situation.
gonna break everybody all at once. It's gonna
You're
take
not.
more time.
Yeah. It's like a puzzle. I had mentioned that before. It's like some people
It's the
you can
dominoes.
put four puzzles together and they get it. Some people you got to do a bunch of
Well,
pieces by pieces to get it.
it's
Yeah.
dominoes, right? Like if you were to stack a bunch of dominoes, we're all dominoes, right? You can't knock over, like you can knock over a good chunk, but you ain't gonna knock over every single domino on that thing,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes just planting one seed starts planting other seeds, planting other seeds, planting other seeds, and boom, we can shatter it. But it's gonna take, it is gonna take time because there's
Yeah.
a lot of that's still being spewed to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of where I'm at.
Okay. Like Didi, you had some?
I can see my brother, but now I'm not. No, I'm right here. I'm right here. It's just like I said, I was in the sauna, man, and now I was alone, and now I'm not. I was actually getting ready to drop down, man. I'll probably come back in here if you are still online after I jump out the pool to go cool off.
All right. Yeah, I got a
All
couple.
right.
About an hour or something. Yeah.
Okay, bet. All right, I'll holler at you later, man.
For sure.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. Are you
But
being so
yeah.
quiet up there, Kev? Oh,
Oh,
you
no,
got
I was
more
about
to
to be back
say?
at it. I was just listening. You know what I'm saying? I'll be trying to listen. Hear all these different angles and stuff. It's weird. I was looking it up. It ain't no really. It's not a solid. What the real definition is like. It's really a disorder. But
What?
otherwise, I guess like the way
What
people
definition
use
for
it,
what?
delusion or
That's
delusional.
because a lot of the time that's going to be linked to a disorder.
That's a disorder. Yeah. So they said that's like a zero
Yes. So
point
being
some percent.
delusional is technically, but delusion or
I guess
illusions,
I got to
like
take that back.
cultural
It's
illusion.
wrong. It is subjective then. Come on.
Oh, it's just subjective. Most things in
Dang.
life are subjective.
I was cussing that girl out for nothing. Well, I ain't cuss her out, but it just seemed like she kind of tried to deflect or something. That's why I
I
got
mean,
mad.
I wasn't in here, so I
I
don't
was
know
like,
what
you
the
must be. I was
situation
telling her, I
was.
was like, you must be delusional or something. Like, why you saying that? I was going crazy on. She ended up leaving it loud.
Oh,
But she was in
wow.
the comments though.
Was she in your live or someone else's?
There was early when I just started early, and I was like, she was like, "What do you mean?" By I guess she had the same questions and stuff. I'm like, "No, delusion is delusion." And then I was like, I said, dang, it usually be the people that, but I do feel that way though. People that be trying to deflect it or say some stuff like that, and most of the time they be, or I just had an experience of that. I'm gonna say, it usually be the delusional ones because they already be got called delusion so many times and stuff. But yeah, I guess it is a subjective thing because the way people use it, you know, ain't no, and technically ain't no, not that many people. What I looked up, it says like a 0.0% of people that's actually
Well, that are
delusional. That's like
actually
a mental
delusional,
issue.
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, like, but it's the same thing. Like, if you looked up like narcissist, right? Everybody likes to
Yeah,
throw that word on here,
exactly.
but the likelihood of somebody actually being a narcissist is actually a very small percentage, and that is an actual disorder.
Yeah, I
Now,
feel you on.
granted, we all have narcissistic traits, just like we all have delusional traits, right?
Got
There's
you.
traits to it, but to be actually fully diagnosed as that, very rare.
Mm.
But yeah, like, do I think everybody on the internet is delusional? No. Do I think a lot of people on the internet fall into a lot of different types of delusions? Absolutely.
Man, that's right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
That's
We're
why I
too
think
shady. He love when I'm wrong. That
I
boy be
think that's just
loving it.
kind of where it's at. You know what I mean? Like when you look at, I think, like I said, I think it's good to bring awareness, but also just to also acknowledge how we got here and then how we get away from it.
Yeah.
Right. So how do we get away from this type of thinking other than just being realistic? Because that's also subjective.
Yeah. Because I was even mentioning that before. I say it many times because people be looking at like being optimistic is not being realistic. I said it is. I said both. You can be optimistic and pessimistic. That's both realistic. You know what I'm saying? It's just your point of view of how you look at things. Because it's negative and it's positive in this world, so it depends on how you choose to look at it. But both of them is reality. I just
Mhm.
choose not to be in stressing because every majority of us probably at one point or still is like had a pessimistic mentality because that's like in our nature to like have fear and it's a defense thing too. So I think it take a minute to grow or or have a mindset to be optimistic. You got to actually build that.
Yeah. I think it's both, right? I think for me, for the most part, if you were to ask me, the classic, optimist, pessimist question is the glass half empty or half full? For me, it's gonna be both, but it also depends on that day, right? At the end of the day, because it also just, you know what I mean? It depends on how I'm looking at it. If I'm having more of a pessimistic day, then yeah, that shit's half empty, right? If I'm having a day where, I'm feeling kind of good about myself, so and so, I'll be like, oh, well, it's half full. You know what I mean? But I think being
I feel you.
realistic is just being self aware, but also being self aware to the point that you can also give understanding to others,
I
right?
think I
Like,
feel you on that. But I think the way I judge myself, I ain't gonna say that. So I guess internally, right? You can be pessimistic, I think, but you have to focus on being optimistic. That's what make it change. So I think I focus more on just in general because I don't because I just I try to practice what I preach, right? And I
mhm.
always want to live in a better life
Yeah,
or better way of thinking and stuff. So I've been practicing trying to look at things in a positive way, even if like I can have some negative that run across my mind and stuff. But I think that's just something I have to stay on top of. They're just like your emotions, our emotions and our feelings. Like, of course, I can say I want to be emotional controlled and stuff, but that's something I have to work on daily. You know what I'm saying? I might fall short a couple times, but I think that's just my focus or something I strive on.
yeah, but
It's a better or
I think when we're talking about emotional control, though, I think a lot of people misunderstand and misinterpret that. I think a lot of
yeah.
people misinterpret emotional control as to having no emotions. That's not what it is. You could still
That's
have your emotions, you're just not acting on it. And the only reason why I say that is because I was in another live recently and they were like, well, you got to have emotional control, emotional control. And basically, what the host was talking about was having no emotions, turning off your emotions. And I'm like, that's not emotional control. That's just avoidance, right? Like, you're going to have emotions to things.
yeah.
Is whether it's emotional control, emotional intelligence, right, are the same thing. And all that
Yeah, it's in
dictates
there.
is
That's
how
really, they
you
call it
deal
emotional
with it.
regulation. I just call it control.
Yeah, control, regulation, whatever. But it's at the end of the day, it's how you're reacting to things, right?
Yep.
The whole point of that is not to be reactive, right?
Yep.
Oh, Kev said something made me mad. Now I gotta go over there and say something mean. Like,
Mm.
nah, I don't gotta do that. He could say something that hurts my, you could say something that may hurt my feelings, and I could be like, okay, cool. He hurt my feelings, but I don't have to react on that. That's to me, that's what that is how you react to things. It's not,
Yep. It's like you ain't gotta cry about everything. You ain't gotta,
yeah, like,
all that stuff, all the emotions you can regulate it. You don't have to
it's,
even laugh at everything. You know what I'm saying? It's just
yeah,
control it.
it's reaction. That's the reason why I
Yeah.
said that, just in case, because I think some people get that shit confused. Is like people are saying you can't have any type of emotions, any type of feeling. We all have
Mm.
feelings and emotions. It's just how you deal with it. And it's the
Or when
same
you
thing. We
using that
all
timing
have,
too.
you know what I mean? But it's all the same thing when it comes to reality, too. Reality is always going to be different. Not 100% different, but it will be a little different to everybody, right? Like something like for me, like, you know what I mean? I could sit there and say, okay, well, Kev tries to focus mostly on the optimistic side. Okay, that's unrealistic. But that's not, right? That's subjective at that point. That may be something that works for you, Kev, but it's not
Yeah.
something that always works for me. I like to look at the balance. Okay, what's the negative and then what's the positive, and I try to hit the middle
Mhm.
of what that is.
Even that, I think the key word will be focus. I ain't say I can be optimistic. I
Well, no,
think he
but
said
you get my
focus on.
point. Like the focus, though, right?
Yeah,
I try to
that's like
focus on
everybody
both.
focus to be better. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
for
better. I'm not gonna focus
yeah,
on it.
yeah, but that's like my point. Like for me, it's like I'm focusing on both,
Yeah.
right? Both the negative and the positive, but I'm also doing that with self-awareness. So if I notice that I'm more negative, then I may focus more on the positive. If I'm more optimistic that day, I may focus more on the negative and the pessimistic side just to balance it out because I believe in balance. And then
Mm.
I move accordingly. So, and I'm not sitting there saying that you don't always make mistakes, right? Like I'm pretty sure there's times, Kev, where you were thinking
So
more
you
on the
saying you should
optimistic
think the
side.
worst of things sometimes then?
For me, yes, because
Mm.
it's not that I'm thinking about it like, okay, well, I have to think of the worst, right? For me, I'm always going to hope for the best, but I'm going to prepare for the absolute worst. And to me, that's where the balance is. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst, right? In most situations. So I like to look at both instead of just pushing my focus only at one or the other, right? I
Mm.
try to be balanced in both of them. So the reason why I say that is because I've had times, and I'm not saying that it's always perfect, right? There's times you miscalculate. We all do, right? Like I'm pretty sure there's many times where I'm probably having more of a pessimistic day and I'm trying to be more hopeful and I'm almost too hopeful. So it was unrealistic in what the positive outcome was going to be,
Mm.
right? I was more focused on that. Or there were times where, you know what I mean, I got more of the negative of that. Um versus,
I'm
times
trying
where
to
I've
think what
probably
could you
been
get out of.
struggling.
I'm trying to. It's weird. I'm trying to understand, but I'm trying to see what do you get out of having a pessimistic mentality, or even just switching over to that. I'm trying to.
It's
I'm trying to think.
so what it is it helps me prepare for the worst, right? So let me give you an example. Say I'm walking down the street, there's two people arguing, right? I don't know what the hell they're arguing about, but they're just arguing. I gotta walk past these people, right? I can sit there and think about the most positive, right? And just being like, okay, maybe I could just walk by, they ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gotta do nothing, right? But then what's the negative? What's the pessimistic outcome of that? I get pulled into it, right? I get hit for whatever reason if they start throwing hands, right? That could be the negative aspect of it. That's still a reality. It's still a possibility. That's all it is just thinking about it in realms of possibility. It's not saying that I'm hoping that the negative outcome of that happens. I'm just prepared if that happens. So that just means, okay, I need to be more cautious as I walk around these two people arguing.
Mm.
I don't necessarily need to get involved.
Cause
Right?
I can. I'm gonna use an example though. Like, okay, like a situation. This actually happened before. So, say if a person like, I think like
Mhm.
more pessimistic people, that what they do is like, oh, I see my dog sick or right. They be like, dang, the dog about to pass away or something like that. And, they come with all the worst things or whatever. Even though I get it, it's like that's why I say I do understand the pessimistic mindset because you're trying to set up or prepare. But I think, because me just trying to look at things, it really changed my life. Always trying to look at the positives and the negative stuff. It's not saying being
Oh, yeah.
dumb either. It's not being dumb, but it's just like I look at it that, like, say if I get fired or something, I do live like that is what it is type mentality. Like, because if it's not under my control, there's no point in like, really worried about it because I realize that if things gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Whatever's meant is meant. So I say, like, if the dog was getting sick, instead of me like, dang, the dog might pass away or something like that, I look at it and shoot, I'm gonna try my best. Whatever happened, it happens. I mean, but I'm gonna try my best. And if it passed away, it was its time. It is what it is.
Hmm.
Instead of saying that, oh, it's about to die. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. I
No,
don't
I
know.
mean,
I
it's
just never
you
had
and
no
I are
problems
kind of
living in a
saying
pessimistic
you
mentality.
and I are kind of saying the same thing,
Hmm.
right? Looking at it in a pessimistic way isn't just saying that I'm clinging on to only the pessimistic, right? Looking at it in the negative connotation just prepares me for what the absolute worst can be,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, prime example, I'll give a real life example. Right now, my grandfather has been diagnosed with stage 4 bone cancer, right?
Yeah.
I can look at that in the negative and be like, oh my God, he's gonna die. Well, yeah, he's gonna, right? There's nothing, that's inevitable because he's refused treatment. He's 70,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I could look at it that way, right? And I already know that, right? So I can start preparing myself for that, right? But the optimistic thing that I could also look at that is I have time now still with him. Let me go spend time with him. You see what I'm saying? So it's preparing me for both. One, I'm prepared. It's helping me prepare
So
for
you
when
saying
he's no
being
longer here.
prepared is being pessimistic?
No, it's not being pessimistic. The pessimistic portion of that would be he's refused treatment, he's going to unalive, right?
Yeah, and
That would be the
that's why I say it's
pessimistic
all
way of
like I
looking
said,
at it.
I'm big on wording and stuff. So I think if you word it that way, that's what make you more pessimistic. But I don't think preparation, right, or
No, it's not about
no
it's the way you utilize it.
mm,
See what I'm saying? I'm utilizing the pessimistic way of looking at that, right? And being like, okay, cool, I have time to mentally prepare for that, for when he's no longer here. But then it's also giving me the opportunity on the positive, optimistic side of being like, I still have time with him now. Let me spend time with him. You see what I'm
mm,
saying? It keeps me more in the reality because, again, do I still have time with him right now? Absolutely. Is his days numbered? Absolutely. So what's the middle ground? What can I do? Right? I could sit around and avoid him because he's going to unalive, or I could spend time with him now. More time
mm,
with him,
mm.
right? And you really get to know him before he hits his demise. So again, it all depends on how you use it. There's some people who only look at the negative, so the pessimistic side of things, and that's all they focus on, right? So everybody has to be doing them dirty, right? We know
Right.
these people, we've dealt with those people, right? Oh my God, Kev is questioning my way of thinking, right? So he must think I'm a terrible person and therefore he's out to get me, right? I can have that negative mindset, right?
Hmm.
I could. But what's the realistic? Oh, okay, he's trying to understand. See what I'm
So
saying?
I'm gonna look the just like since we do the definition things, right?
Yeah,
So I'm gonna ask these questions, I guess. It say, okay, being pessimistic means you tend to see the worst parts of things
of
or
things,
think the
yes.
worst will happen. A
Mm-hmm.
pessimistic person is one who is often seen as lacking hope, which I'm pretty sure I know you got hope. It
Mm-hmm.
say enjoy and marked by disbelief or distrust.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do you that you say you think that way sometimes or
So again, I'm human, right? I'm gonna have my moments where I may think
mm,
like that, right?
mm,
I also have this thing called experience, as we all do, right? Which sometimes counts against me. So when I see things that have been perceived now as red flags based on my previous experiences, I may look at something more negatively, instinctually, because I'm going based off of my own experience, right? So, for example, let's take, okay, if you've ever been cheated on, you're with somebody else and now they're exhibiting some of the same signs that the person that cheated on you with did. You mean to tell me you're going to be like, they're not cheating? No, your brain may run there, right? My brain will run there. But it's what I do with that, if that makes sense. It's how I act on it. So I know that, okay, this may be going on, so I have to prepare myself for it, right? But that doesn't mean that it's the worst thing. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what it is, right? I'm
It's
preparing
weird.
for that,
The reason,
but I'm hoping that that's not the case. You see what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
feel
I'm
you.
trying to be like, okay, this is a different person. It's a different situation. I don't know all the facts, right? Would be the pessimistic way of looking at it. So I'm looking at both of them, right? And this is where I say, I'm hoping for the best, but I am prepared for the absolute worst. To me, that's realistic. That's realism.
I think you could still be prepared.
You can, but
Pessimistic
that's just
though.
how
You can still.
that's just how I do it. I
Okay,
can't
I got
just
you.
put it
So I
all.
get you. I feel you.
Yeah,
Okay, I got
that's the reason why I said, like, I can't tell you that the way that you do it, Kev, is
you. Okay, I get you.
wrong,
I feel you.
and the way that
Because
I'm
it's
doing it is
it's
right.
what fits you. You know. So I
It's
get
just
you.
what fits
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Because I was
fits
trying to
me for
think
the
if
most
I
part.
was the. I was trying to think if I did that. Okay, all right. I get you
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
Cause
that's
I'm
just
like,
how
man, cause
I
it's like
look
it's
at it.
hard for me to go back. Now that I adjust my mind, just me myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now I adjust my mind to live in a it is what it is type situation, and what's meant is what's meant. You know, it's kind of hard for me to go back to like if somebody say if
That
I
part.
feel like
Yeah.
somebody cheating on me or something, I really have that mentality like, hey, you know what? If it is, it's gonna come to the dark. You know, I'd rather not even think about what the worst can happen or something like that because it's gonna show. You know what I'm saying? Because like it kind of brings like anxiety or not anxiety. It brings like
Well,
worries and fear and
it's
all
the
that
way
stuff.
that you protect your own peace,
Yeah,
right? For
yeah.
you, it's protecting your peace, and that's the reason why you do it that way.
Okay,
For
yeah, yeah. So
me,
you
it's
got
I
that.
have to do both,
Okay.
right? Because it's subjective. So I don't always necessarily know. For me, being way too optimistic, kind of like what D-Day said, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. If I'm too optimistic, then I'm gullible, right? Because now I'm sitting here, now I'm justifying every bad thing and every red flag, right? Okay, well, maybe that's not the case. This is
I
what it
don't believe
is.
that.
You know what
I
I
don't
mean? But
believe that.
that's for me. For me, that's
Oh,
how
I
I
was
feel.
talking about how he said that. I don't think
Yeah,
being
like I
optimistic
feel like
make you gullible.
it
You
can be for a
this.
lot of people.
Oh, okay. The
Um,
way they look at it, right? I
yeah, it's
get you.
just how they're looking at it. Where I think like having a more balanced approach where like, not saying that the way that I do it is perfect, but that's why I look at both. I look at both the negative and the positive, and I try to hit it in the middle, right? Because I don't always know, right? Again, I don't know everybody's story. I don't know everything that's going on, but I'm not also going to be suckered into falling for the same stupid shit 40 different times by 40 different people.
That's what I'm saying. When people be saying that, right? They make it seem like optimistic people are stupid. That junk be weird to me. I don't get it. That junk is weird because it's like why you can't be like both of them. You could be stupid on both of them, optimistic
You
and
can.
pessimistic though. But it's like you could still be smart. You could make smart decisions, but it's like your mentality, your way of thinking though about it. Because it's
Hmm.
like once we feel like we don't have full control of certain things that's in reality, it's like sometimes you got to live up with the, you know what, if whatever happened, it's gonna happen at the end of the day. If it's not in my control, it's like no use of worrying about something. You can still be. That's I don't know. That junk. It's weird to me. We be trying to make it seem like I don't know. I do. I don't. I'm trying to make it make sense. That just hurt my head because I've noticed that lately, like people, even like Touche, he be like, dog, he the main one to be saying that, like I live in
You know what I mean?
reality or something like that.
I'm
But
gonna
I'm
let him
like, dang,
speak
me
on that.
thinking positive don't make me not be reality because like I can say somebody.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead, Touche, get him.
Don't do me.
I
Not
didn't
too
finish.
much.
I didn't even finish, man.
Well,
I'm just
I'm
saying.
gonna
I
let
was
you
just
finish.
yeah.
I'm gonna let you
I was
finish.
just saying in general because I heard that from you. I actually heard it from you. You was like, I live in reality, and I'm like, dang, because I'm I'm optimistic. I think try to look at things in a positive way. That don't make me not be in reality. Because I'm like, I can say somebody not really reality because they live in a negative. But like I said, the world is full of negative and positive, so both of them could be reality. That's what I was saying.
So
It's
what I
just
what I say when I say I think in reality, right? I used to think everything is gonna be great. Everybody can do this. Everybody can do that. And it's
that's
just
being naive though.
but see, but then that's what I'm when I what that's what
Optimistic
I
don't mean
mean.
naive. Why we mix that up? I don't get that. It's
I,
just looking at the good and the bad. That's all it is.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I know that it's good and bad in this world. So I don't.
Exactly.
So one of the but and I know that one can't live without the other. They're both components are
E-
needed to be regular in the
Exactly.
world. I always say that. That's why when people
Yes.
talk, that's why when people talk like this, like, oh, everything is gonna be like, bro. Sometimes you got to be honest about yourself. If the situation is bad, it's okay, but be honest about it. We always talk about being honest with ourselves, but you can't be honest with me and then tell me that everything you thinking about or whatever is just always positive. You have to be realistic about stuff. Yes. Do I want $1 million? And realistically, is it possible to get? Probably not so.
Yeah,
Probably not
people
so.
could be delusional about it, but that don't mean it's just so. I don't.
I
I
think
wish I
what
could
you,
get people to understand the way, because that junk is not true though. We either go far left with certain things or far right,
yeah, because
and
some people don't have a gray area.
But
Some
isn't
people don't have that.
optimism one of those words that take you to the polar opposite? Because you have a pessimist, you have an optimist, and then the balance is a realist. I used to call
Yeah.
myself a optimist because that I was optimist. You say I was optimistic until somebody had to check me and be like, "You don't even," because the way I don't even think every single person on the planet actually has a soul. Cause I don't think that they supposed to. Everybody not supposed to be here. Some people made
Hmm.
decisions they weren't supposed to be
yeah,
here. So I can't. So by definition, I can't even be an optimist because I don't have hope for everybody.
that's what I'm
Like I
saying.
don't. I so
What? But okay, I feel everybody different. I'm noticing that though. But all I'm saying, even though you said the middle ground is realist, right? Who's to say who's not real? Optimistic person can be real, a pessimistic person can be real. Both of them reality.
No, you know the
right now,
difference
but I'm saying
between.
like a realist because I'm able. Because I'm saying like as a realist, like because I used to be like, man, I'm optimistic because I'm always hoping for the best and I think the best outcome can come. But that's for myself. That's in my
Right.
reality for myself. I'm optimistic about my life, but do I go through life as an optimist? I don't because I don't be optimistic about going to the gas station down the street and then getting a racist look from the lady. I'm not optimistic about that. I'm not saying, oh, well, maybe she was just having, because that's why I say the optimism lead into naivete. Because if you always optimistic, then you blind to what's going on in front of you. Well, that's how I've
You could be
learned
blind
to
pessimistic too,
identify
though.
with. Yeah, you can. You could think everything is always negative, but I'm saying like I think the balance is I think you can be optimistic and then still also not be an optimist is what I'm saying. Like I'm optimistic about my life, but then when it comes to the rest of the world, I can't be necessarily optimistic because when I was young, dumb, that's how I got took,
That's because
thinking that the best thing gonna come my way because I work hard
It's
and
a mentality, though. That's what I'm
and
saying.
make
It's
sure I
really a mentality.
it's
It's
represent
not your
not
myself
a
extremely
choices
well.
in
You know what I'm
mentality.
life.
saying?
Hold on, hold on,
Because
hold
the
on.
rest of the world's not an optimist. So if you can't walk,
It's not a
I
mentality,
don't
y'all.
walk around
It's
like
a
that.
spectrum. It's a spectrum, right? You have people who are very optimistic. They're on one side of
Okay.
that spectrum. Then you have the pessimists on the other side. Then you have the realists that's probably more towards the middle, right? That's just what it's considered, right? But depending on where you fall on that spectrum will dictate a lot of things. And I'm not talking about just for within oneself. Just when you dealing with situations impossible, it's always a spectrum. And you jump around on that spectrum depending on the situation. Let's be real, we all do.
Hmm.
Most people aren't going to stay just only in the optimistic side, right? Even the most optimistic person, right? And this is just my belief, has moments of pessimism. I'm not
Hmm.
going to sit there. You can't convince me otherwise. You're going to have a moment. You're going to have a thought.
And with AJ, what you saying that to me, that's realistic. That's not a negative.
Yes.
That's not a negative statement, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
just truth, and that's what I be getting at with people. People be wanting to be just one way. sometimes it's an alternative route.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is an alternative route.
Mm-hmm.
And being a realist is where you say, oh yeah, the GPS is telling me to go left, but I know if I go right, I'll probably get there like this. And then it's a realist that's saying, hey, to be honest with you, I get what you're saying, but why not follow the road that it's already telling you to follow despite what is like that's what a realist is. I don't think a realist is a negative person. And I think people make realists negative because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth.
They don't want to hear either one of the spectrums because the thing
Yeah.
is,
So,
because it's a lot of
so
being a
let me read
negativity
the
out here.
definition because, like
I
I
get
said,
that
we was
The
talking
from.
truth
about
is hidden.
definitions, right?
Well, hold on, hold on.
So,
I get that from pessimistic people too. So I get pessimists being, well, why does everybody just assume we're negative and we're evil? You're not.
and realist is subjective too.
It
That's just
is.
another. Uh,
But
Anybody can say
it's
something is real or
all.
whatever that, but your
That's
real
why
don't
I
mean it's
said
But
it's a
real.
you,
spectrum.
So
but when we
I'm gonna
say
look. I'm gonna show
realist,
you what optimistic is because it seems like
Okay.
we're not understanding it with this. Because okay, say an optimistic person sees good in things everywhere, is generally confident and hopeful of what the future holds from the optimistic point of view of the world. It's full of potential opportunity. The pessimists, on the other hand, observe mainly the negative aspects of everything around. So really, it's just like I said, it's just the way you it don't mean you have to believe it, right? It's just the way of seeing the good and the bad. So it's obvious you can see the bad, right? That's just all it is. It's just the way you look at it. Like you only really have two choices. But
No, you
even with
don't.
reality, right? Realistic, we trying to say that's a middle ground. That don't fall into the part of being pessimistic and optimistic.
You didn't even.
It's no.
What's the
I don't think
definition
it's
of that?
no. Huh?
Read the definition of a realist.
Okay.
I think you're missing what we saying when we say realist. A realist is a person that's just keeping like they're not sugarcoating it. They're telling it how it is. Like if you say 2 + 2 is 4, and you being optimistic say, well, it probably could be something different. No, bro, we're being the realist. We're telling you that this is what it is, and these are the facts to prove it. And I think people get, like I said, once again, they think realist is a negative thing because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the fact of it.
For me, it's a spectrum. At the end of the day, you have a spectrum between your positive and your negative, right? There's a spectrum. It's where you land on that spectrum. Again, it's all subjective because it's where you land. We're all different. We don't land in the same place.
Objective, optimistic, half full, pessimistic, half empty, realist, the juice has gone bad.
What?
What?
That didn't make what?
I don't know.
Hold on. I guess I gotta look something else up.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I always tell people like you got to be real with yourself. And some
Facts.
They
people,
said realists seem like they negative. Hold up.
yeah, that's
I'm
what I'm
half
saying.
full.
That's
I'm half empty. I think this is piss. What?
yeah. You
They
got to
making
watch
realists
movies.
look real bad. That's what that sound like.
Yeah, of
The
course.
realists always get the bad rap because we're in the middle and we get the bad rap from both
This
sides.
glass.
Because
Yes, this
it's not because
glass.
and it's because we not one sided.
That part.
That's the thing. We're not one
Oh,
sided, which is why realists
that sound
always
indecisive. Then.
It's not
no.
indecisive.
It's
We
not
know what it
indecisive.
is. It's just we understand that it's more than just one or the other, right? For an optimist and a pessimist, there's only two lanes. There's two options. For a realist, we understand that there's two options plus maybe a third, right?
So they got
So
optimistic.
take a situation in an argument, right? An optimistic person would be like, "Hey, don't argue." A pessimistic person would be like, "No, argue, go for it, go for the fucking throat." A realist would be like, "What's the point of this conversation?"
What we try to find out.
I think an optimistic person can argue right and then don't take it bad and just look at the good in the
That's not
argument.
that's not what I'm talking about,
They
bro.
won't avoid an argument.
I'm not saying that they avoid the argument. Now you're getting lost in the semantics of what I'm saying.
What's the idealist? That's
That's
another one.
not read the definition. You got it in front of you.
Oh, I know I just had this up there. I just try to see if somebody
He
know
was just
about
trying
it.
to be funny. He was just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
No, I was about to say somebody. I'm about to see who's gonna come with the fourth now. Well, I'm an idealist now.
I mean, you do have idealistic people, and those are people who more or less
What?
just are stuck on the ideas of things. A lot of the time.
That's all.
I've met idealistic people, majority of them are stuck in the idea, and it's not rooted in reality, really. It's
and that is something that I
they're the
could
people
never
who
be.
live in woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Oh
So
yeah,
If
that's
I
the
would have
that's the
done this, then
comparison
I could
between
have
those
done
two
this,
then,
then I should have done
idealist and a
this.
realist. I don't think you compare a pessimistic and a realist and a. I think those two is supposed to be compared together, and optimistic and pessimistic is supposed to be compared together. So I
yeah.
think
Have you ever
those.
have you ever sat there and thought like, damn, they are telling me what it is, and I'm reading it, and then you trying to switch the definition sometimes? You ever
You
thought about
talking
that?
about? Wait, say it again.
I said, have you ever had a conversation with somebody and people tell you why something is something, and yet you be like, I think they're wrong, so let me just keep looking into it?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, just understanding. Because
I don't
a lot
explain.
no, listen, because what I'm saying is a lot of the time we tell you stuff that we already kind of like studied and we already like looked into in depth. Like me and AJ are telling you that we're realists and we have already studied these things because that's what we are.
I'm supposed to believe it because you said it. Do you believe everything I say?
I mean, some stuff you say is very knowledgeable, but
that, now that's
but
not how optimistic work. They're they don't
but see,
believe everything.
but that's what I'm
I know
saying.
we be trying to make optimistics dumb.
Yeah, but see, that's what we're saying is
I don't have
right.
to be naive.
But I'm not
No,
saying that you're dumb or naive.
you missing
No, I'm
what I'm
just
saying.
saying. So I can't look up something because somebody says it. I can't look it up because I gotta just believe it because you said it.
No, go ahead and look it up. Nobody's saying that.
I'm
I
just
think you
asking.
missing.
That's what
I
I'm
think you
saying.
missing what I was getting at. I think you missed the whole thing that I was basically trying to help you understand. So I mean,
So
Yeah.
they say yin and yang will be the idealism and realism, which I thought those are the two that get compared to each other, not pessimistic and optimistic. Them are the ones that compare each other. So we put a third one in it that ain't part of the um. Because I figured there ain't no middle ground. I don't get how that's a be. I think we adding these four things. They not. It's not. I'm trying to see. Hold up.
Okay, let me ask you this, Kev. Do you think that you have to be one or the other?
You can be any of them. It's your choice of
That's
living.
not
You
my
could
question.
be
My question is do you believe, do you need to be one or the other? Optimist or pessimist, idealist or realist?
no. I said you can be any of them.
Yeah, no, but but what we're saying is that there is a middle ground, right? There's some people who believe there's a middle ground, the gray area between all of those. That's the reason why there's four of them. So when you
So
start
you
talking
think
optimist,
realist
pessimist,
is
people
the
are going to
middle
say
ground of
realist
those?
and idealist.
I think the two things that you are focusing on when you speak on that conversation is ideologists and realists.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Those are
really.
middle ground of pessimistic and optimistic. I wonder.
Yeah, I think pessimistic and optimistic, like pessimistic and optimistic. I get what you're saying, but it's really ideologist, and it's a realist. Because there's some people who go live in the idea of good things and bad things, and there's some people who go live in reality, which is the facts of.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, okay. So I guess you can be a mixture of them.
Yes, that's why I said it's a spectrum.
Yes,
That's
that's
what.
what we've been trying to tell.
So I
Yes.
No,
said
no,
it's a
you didn't.
spectrum,
No, you
bro.
did.
Yeah,
Because
I've
no,
been
you can't
trying to
say
say
that's what
that.
you've been trying to tell me when you call yourself a realist. Then that means you could be all four of them. Then you wasn't saying that.
AJ, is that
I
not what
was
AJ said?
saying that actually when
No,
I
I'm
said it
saying Touche
was.
wasn't saying. I'm not talking about you. I said Touche wasn't saying it.
I was agreeing, and I said yes, that is possible. What are you
You
talking
said
about?
that's the middle ground. You said we are. I'm actually both of y'all did say
I
we
said
are
it's a gray
realists,
area.
but you didn't say nothing about being optimistic or pessimistic. Or I know AJ did say optimistic and pessimistic, but then she said she was a realist with the middle ground, which I was getting confused at. So I'm like,
But
so I mean, we
that's
could
why
all
I said
four
the gray.
be,
That's
we
why
could
I
be
said
all
there's a.
four of them, but it's just what you choose, right?
I mean, but that's why I said there's a gray area. It's a gray area. That's why she made the statement and said there is the gray area.
What is the gray area? That's what I'm
Why I
trying to
said
see.
it's
Who
a
do, how,
spectrum.
who? I can't. Hmm.
It's a spectrum of things you can hit on multiple spectrums. It's just the one that you usually will hit the most on. It's usually how these things are calculated. right? Yes, technically I am a realist, right? But do I hit on many different spectrums of yes, because realistically that makes sense. Even to a realist that would make sense that you would hit multiple. Because that's the reality. You're not just stuck in one.
Mm. So what's not real, right? So what is not real of being pessimistic or optimistic? Because I must be missing the definition of being a realist.
Hmm?
Is both of them false to be optimistic and pessimistic?
Is both of them false for what? I don't understand your question.
I said can so I figured that realist is something that look at reality, right? Or something dealing with that, right? So what is not real about being pessimistic or optimistic?
I think, like I said, a realist is a person that's pulling out the facts. They're not it's stuck
So
in the ideology. So you can be a realist, but I think your characteristics as a realist could probably be an optimistic person, but that's not really real because you're not really speaking on the facts. You just thinking of la la land. Oh, these things are all gonna go like a realist is just I don't know. I'm out of breath. God damn.
So,
so if you optimistic, you don't think in facts. That's
no, that's not. Okay, hold on. Again, these are spectrums, right?
yeah.
It's like hot and cold, right? When you said that you turn your faucet on, you can go from extremely hot to extremely cold. You find that sweet spot that feels good to you, right? That's what this is, right? For me being a realistic person, right? I'm probably going to pull more towards the realistic side, which means other than a optimist and a pessimist, right? I see the balance between the two and I'm going to go through and depending on what that situation is, because again, it's situational based for me, will dictate where I'm going to hit on the spectrum when it comes to either making a decision or how I'm going to feel about said situation. That is how it is done. That's why I was explaining to you. For me, that's why I look at both negative and positive, and I find the sweet spot, the middle. But it depends on the situation,
And I think
right?
for
There
me,
are certain situations where I may fall more towards the negative, right? I don't believe every single child, okay, is a good innocent fucking person. There are terrible fucking children who grow up to be terrible adults, and I can see that as when they're children, right? That doesn't mean that I'm super negative. It just means, okay, I've seen certain things, right? It's a reality. I can look at the reality of the situation. So again, these are spectrums. It's not saying that people who are optimistic are dumb and naive and fall for every fucking thing. Yes, we understand that, right? But there
So
are
looking
some
at the
people who
good and the
do.
bad
And
can't be
however, there are
real.
some people who do the same thing on the negative side. They think everybody's out to get them and everybody, you know what I mean? Everything's got to be negative and it's got to be a fight and so on and so forth.
Then you
Those are
say
the
you
people
hold
who
up, let's
do
go back
miss.
to
They
this then. Then
find the
you say you
middle.
hope the best? Even no matter the condition, you still hope the best out of situations?
I'm gonna hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Okay, so
We're
that mean you
realistic.
still optimistic then.
No, you're changing the narrative of what I am saying because you're only running with the first part of it. I'm hoping for the best, but I am preparing for what?
You said prepare for the worst.
I'm preparing for the absolute worst. So how am I more optimistic or less pessimistic? It's the same. I'm in the middle.
I hope that I pass this test, but if I don't, I understand.
But you don't hope for the worst though. That's the thing.
I'm hoping
For
for
the
the
best.
best. I am preparing for the worst.
Yes, but I don't think being optimistic says anything about preparing for the worst.
I think you
It
miss it.
literally said you
I
think
think
the
you're missing
worst.
what I'm talking about.
I think you're missing it. Pray for the worst. I mean, it's pray for the it's pray for the best, prepare for the worst. It's just saying that you living in the mindset that A, this possibly can go very, very good, or B, this will possibly go bad. But
I'm
that's
prepared for either one.
yes.
I
That's
feel
it.
you though. I don't
It's
know.
like
I guess you just said I guess I feel you
So,
then.
okay, here's the thing.
I'm
You
gonna
were
always
reading
hope
the
the best for every
definitions. Hold on.
situation, even if it's
Hold
bad.
on.
So that's just me.
Pause button. Pause button. You were reading the definitions. Reading those definitions, do pessimistic people have hope? You read the
No.
definition. So it would make no sense for me to hope for the worst. I would prepare for that because I already assume the worst is going to happen. Therefore, all I can do is prepare for it. I'm going to
Believe
hope
that the worst
for
will
the
happen.
best because an optimistic person has hope. So I'm hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. And either way this lands, basically what I'm saying is, however the cards land, however the pieces fall, I'm going to be as prepared as possible. I'm going to be okay regardless, right? I'm going to move accordingly. So if it goes the absolute best, cool, I can keep moving. If it goes the absolute worst, cool, we're prepared for this, let's keep it moving. That's all it's saying.
A
That's
realist
all
is
what that's
not
saying.
negative or positive, like we said.
It's not negative or positive. It's not optimistic or pessimistic. It's in the middle. It's the middle ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think being fully pessimistic or being fully optimistic is not really like, I don't get it. I don't understand that because it's not being real. It's not like, it's just not. It's just not being real at all.
I guess it's our own point of views, I guess, at the end of the day, I see.
Well, yeah, that's why we said it is subjective depending on the person. I never said
And
that
worse
anybody's
makes
wrong
us
for
more
thinking either way.
anxious, not less.
I think
It's
that's the
preparing for
problem
them.
when people have these conversations is they feel like you either need to be optimistic or you need to be pessimistic or you need to be realistic. It depends on the person. That's completely subjective.
Yeah.
Assuming the worst is sometimes known as a cognitive distortion. Preparing for the worst makes us more anxious, not less. In therapy world, assuming the worst is sometimes known as cognitive distortion. And when reality becomes distorted through a negative lens, negative emotions begin to take over. Let's see. Suspect. What is the problem with preparing for the, I'm not trying to look at that one.
What?
Yeah.
Where are you confused at, Kev?
I'm just looking at these definitions.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just
But
trying to
it
make
is
sure
what
that
it
we on the
is.
same page with what we're talking about, though.
Actually,
Like, you get what I'm
I
saying?
just developed. It's not a lifestyle. Always been. I feel like the average person is pessimistic. You know what I'm saying? Just because of our survival, us
I think
being
it's
in survival
subjective.
mode, and because the world how it's just majority of the time is always like negative stuff, and all of
Well,
us been hurt before. So I think that's like a natural reaction or natural way of thinking when you've been hurt or traumatized to be in a pessimistic mentality because I get it's a
not true.
defensive type mechanism and it do prepare us, you know what I'm saying, for when things actually happen. I think it's harder to actually build up a optimistic mentality. That's not something simple. Uh,
Hmm.
because you realize that it is a world full of both of them and stuff.
I would
Um,
disagree with you only just because I feel like yes, people who do have traumas tend to probably move more towards the pessimistic side of things, but that doesn't mean that they're always like that because I've met people who've gone through some crazy ass traumas and are some of the most optimistic people I've ever met, right? So again, I think it does depend on you, but it is situational based, right? I don't believe that everybody, even for an optimist, that they're walking around and everything is always going to be the optimistic way of looking at it. Everybody, like, to me, it's everybody has balance, right? You're gonna have a moment of pessimism. To walk around thinking that you never are is unrealistic to me. I'm sorry. And to walk around as a
so you saying that's not realistic to try to look at
pessimistic
that's the overall
optimist
thing.
is
Look at
realistic.
the good and the bad.
I'm
How
not
is that
saying that
not
you
real?
can't try. Correction, but hold on. You said it. Hold on. You said it there. You said try. I'm talking about initially. When a situation goes down, right? There are people who think the absolute worst, and there are people who think, okay, I'm going to hope for the best. This isn't the situation. Not trying, okay? Initially, when something's going down, right? Do I believe that somebody who claims to be optimistic, depending on what that situation is not going to think a pessimistic or have one pessimistic thought? Absolutely not. Me personally, I don't believe that.
That's
I believe it's more
delusional. Yeah, they ain't
balanced
gonna
than
be
that.
like that. You just
But
that's what
that's
I
the
said when I mentioned at the
reason
beginning. That's something you
why.
try to. adjust your mind
But
to.
this is the reason why I said it's subjective. It's always going to be subjective. There is no black and white. Okay, well, I've decided I'm going to be team optimistic and I'm going to stay amongst team optimistic. There's no way.
You can't. You work to it. Just like I try to
Yeah,
control my emotions. I'm not gonna always have it in control. That's something you
that's my
strive to do.
point. But that's my point,
So who
right?
don't try to be better?
Most people.
I mean,
Okay, answer
I
that.
can't say that. You right about that. But I was about
Okay,
to say that I think that's a goal.
let's
You
be
want to
better.
think the best.
Let's be better because being better is subjective.
Yes, yeah, I feel you on that.
That's why I'm saying when it
But I
comes
would
to
say if
being
you had a choice to be
optimistic,
better, who wouldn't choose to be better?
pessimistic, or realistic, idealistic, it's all a spectrum and it's all subjective depending on what is going on. Right? We can try to do the best that we can to think more in an optimistic way, or think in a more realistic way, or think in whatever way that we're trying to think of, or wherever that suits us in that time. But overall, it is a spectrum. There's no way that one person is always just, I'm 100% optimistic and that's it.
You can't. That's something you try
That's
to
what I'm
do. That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
You try to, but that's my point.
I
You're
don't think
trying.
pessimistic actually say that you're going to
But I
always
think
be like
you're
that. That's
getting hung
something
up
you
only on
strive
that
to do.
aspect of it because I keep saying that this is a spectrum and it's subjective, which means it's dependent on the situation.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. It
Guess it
is
ain't meant for me
dependent
to
on the
understand this one.
situation.
Yeah, it's gonna probably go over my head. That's because it's only gonna go over my head because I just built myself to be this way.
No,
So
you're
I don't know.
okay.
I just can't see I don't know.
You're
It's just
fine.
me.
You're
Yeah,
fine, Kev. There's nothing
this
wrong
junk.
with that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I mean, it been keeping me at peace though. I don't, and it ain't me. I guess people be trying to make it. From every time I hear it, it seems like they make it seem like people is naive. I think you could be smart and optimistic at the same time. You don't have to
I don't
fall
think
for
that optimistic
everything.
people are
You could be
dumb.
real. You could you could be
I don't think
ideal.
they're
You
dumb.
could think in an ideal way too. Being optimistic, it's just simply looking at the good and the bad. That's all how I look at it.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
you're also putting in, but you've also said within that same statement that you're putting in what other people are defining something as. If other people are defining as optimistic people as being stupid, that's on them. Because
Every time I
I
hear it,
do
it'd be like
not.
that because they be trying to say you.
Hold on. I do not think an optimistic person is a stupid person by any means.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general.
I
I'm just
just
saying
think
in
that
general, not
they're
just
stupid
you. I'm
in
just saying in
general.
general. I'll be
But
hearing
I'm just
it.
saying, in general, do I think that they're stupid? No. Right? But that shouldn't be a dictator of whether or not I'm going to look at something more optimistic or more negative. In the pessimistic side. Again, for me, it's situational based. It's always going to be situational based. And maybe that's what makes me more of a realist than anything else, but it is what it is. But that's why, like I said, for realists, we get hate on both sides, on all sides. So, like I said, I think it does depend on the situation. Hey, Empress. Yeah.
What's the deal? I mean, uh,
Yeah. It's
maybe I
just,
don't understand what realist is then, because I don't get how.
for
I
me,
don't know. I must don't understand it then,
all
because
a
what's
realist
not real
is
about.
looking at it. It's being, it's, again, other than just saying it's just being realistic in what you're saying, it's finding the balance between all of them, but living more like, okay, so for like an idealistic person, right, which would be the opposite of a realist. Idealistic people are people who live within ideas, right? That's not practical, right? You have practicality and then you have reality. Somebody who is practical is going to say, okay, in life has to be this way. A realistic person is going to say, okay, yes, I'm going to strive for life to be this way, but I'm prepared for that not to happen. Right? So it's neither optimistic or pessimistic. It is both. If anything, think about those lines kind of like crossing, right? It's like a T. It's basically just learning how to balance. Exactly. It's basically learning how to balance yourself. That's it. But you're balancing yourself within that. That doesn't mean that as a realistic person, I don't have ideologies. I do. Right? I have ideologies in the ways that I would like my life to go and the way I'd like my life to, how I want to live my life. Right? But I'm not hung up in that in the event it does not work. Right? It's kind of like when you work, it's kind of like, when you work a job, right? And they change a process. right? It's always somebody who changes a process who doesn't actually do what you do, right? So if you think in customer service, okay, well, every customer that comes in, you need to greet with a smile and you have to have a good day and do everything you want for them. Do those people, that's the ideology of working in customer service. What's the reality of working in customer service? You have to deal with the human element. Not everybody who's calling is going to be in a good mood, and not everybody who's calling is wanting to be helped. Some people are just calling to bitch. You have to deal with that. So are you going to be happy and smiling the entire time? No, you're a human being. The ideology behind that is that you're supposed to.
Let me ask a question then. Okay.
Practicality, reality.
Okay, let's do this then. So I'm gonna see something real quick. Now I'll be able to tell off the answers then. So if you lose a job that you've been working 10 years or something like that, how do you look at that?
If I lose a job that I've
Yeah.
lost,
You
that
get
I've been,
fired or something like that. How do you look at it?
a job that I've been working 10 years.
Yeah. You get fired. Yeah.
Okay. It would depend on the circumstances of why I got fired.
Okay.
So is it, okay, companies doing layoffs, economic things? You know, at the end of the day, obviously I'm laid off. I'm going to have to look for a new job. Right? But there's other aspects that go into that. Could it be, okay, I've been showing up to work late for the past 3 months because I'm really just not invested here? Then I deserve to be fired. Right? Versus, okay, have I been busting my ass and I don't know, maybe some unforeseen things happened? I need more information to fully interpret that. So I've been working at this job for 10 years. What are the circumstances that I've been let go?
Okay. So,
That's how
all
I
right.
would look at that.
That sounds like a lot of, so realists, they go through analyzing the whole, that's a lot. I don't, okay, so I think a pessimistic, they answered in like, dang, uh, I can't believe I did it. What did I do? I can't believe,
No, it's not that we're analyzing
maybe
everything.
I
I just
probably
need
never
more
find a
info.
job again or something like that. That's good like this or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Like a pessimistic person think
like
like that.
pessimistic.
So,
I mean, in a way, but again, I need more information than just I was working a job for 10 years. I'm no longer working there. I need to know the
yeah.
circumstances. Create the scenario for me so I can accurately give you an answer of how a realistic person would look at that. Because
Okay.
realistically, I can't just with that little information, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I feel you. So, and I don't know, but and then so okay, I did the negative part right.
yeah.
I'm
So
probably
like,
not gonna find a job again. I messed up on the best thing, something like that, right? I think that's average people do that, John, or a lot of people do that. And then I would say optimistic, which is something I literally just built up for. I look at it like, um, you know what, maybe I did my time. I did my time here, and maybe something better in the future for me. Uh,
I
or
mean, I
this
guess
job
if
just
you
wasn't meant
were,
for me. So I'm trying to see, even with that, right? That's just a good way of a bad situation. So I'm trying to see what would not be real about that. Looking at it in a positive way of
so
losing your job,
I'm not saying that none of those are not realistic,
right?
right? It's for me being a realistic person when it comes to losing a job, I may run through all of those, right? I may run to, to the negative because I'm in shock, right? I may run to the optimistic side, right? I may be like, okay, I did my time here, I learned some valuable things, so on and so forth. It just depends on the situation that it is, right? But just going based off the little information, I may run to the negative, right? And it's not so much that I'm never going to find a job anymore. It could be, okay, well, maybe they were out to get me. This whole thing was a setup, so on and so forth. I'm going to run through negative emotions. My mind's going to be in a negative place, right? But I may run through the motions. Then I may run through the idealistic aspects of it. Well, I shouldn't have lost my job because idealists, ideally I've been doing these things, this, that, and the third, and then I may make it through the optimistic side. But again, I
Yeah.
need more information as to how
I
I
think I
lost
used
the
to be,
job.
based on what you said, I used to be like that, I guess. That's
Yeah,
what, okay. So I used to
but
be a
again, going
realist,
based
and I
off the
think I
little
changed my
information
mind
you're
when I
giving
realized
me,
I don't have full
I don't know.
control of things in life. So that's probably what it
Yeah,
is. I used to,
but
so,
that's what I'm
but based
saying.
off how you said, I used to be like that. It used to stress me out though. I ain't gonna lie. Thinking about so much things like, dang, why did this? And I can't believe I put all this. And thinking about, okay, I feel it then.
Well, it's like it for me. It's more reflection, right? So, like, if I were to give an example,
Okay.
I'll give an example of a job that I lost that was on some bullshit, and I'll give an example of a job that I lost that I was sad to have to leave, but it was okay, right? Because I got laid off, right? At the job that I got laid off, I would say I had more of an optimistic view on it because the situation is it was economical, right? Economics happened, they had to cut back. I wasn't the only one, right? In that situation, it wasn't so much, oh, I'm never going to find a job again. Oh, I'm never going to find a job that made me happy like this again. It was more like, okay, this sucks that I lost this job, right? Sucks that I'm being laid off, but I've made awesome connections here, right? It was an awesome opportunity, and I was super happy about that. And I'm going to take what I've learned here and apply them elsewhere. That's how I would look at that, right?
Mm.
Now, the job that I got completely fired from on some bullshit was not that case, right? It was more along the lines of what I said before. It was very pessimistic. Well, fuck y'all. I done busted my ass, right? Y'all made me work 4 months with no damn day off, 18-hour shifts. This is some bullshit. And you gonna do this shit to me like I had a whole Denzel moment.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? It's gonna happen.
I think the reason why I chose this route because you're right about that, and the more I keep thinking about that,
Depends on the
I think
situation.
once I chose peace in my life, right, or focus on peace so much, I'd rather shorten this thinking the way shorten it quick enough so I don't have to stress about it. I guess so. That's why I think I choose to live a pessimist or try to strive to be pessimistic because I rather like, all right,
You mean
well, if it
optimistic?
ain't in my control, it is what it is, and I feel the best. I mean, I feel like it's probably something better than my life, or I look at it, this job just wasn't meant for me, or I did my time, and I did my time, and it is what it is. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's probably why. So I think because I choose peace over everything, that's why I think this. Or I just start developing
Well,
this
I wouldn't
mentality
say
and
that
stuff.
I'm
That's what
somebody
it
who
is.
chooses chaos, right? For the most part, I'm a very peaceful fucking person unless somebody brings out my inner gangster, right? Again, I'm healing, I'm not healed, right?
Hmm.
I have a propensity to spaz. I know that. That's the reality. That doesn't mean that it's going to stay there, right? But
Right.
it is a reality. So the thing with that being said is it's not that I'm stressing myself out thinking that way. Again, it's situational based for me. Depending on the situation will depend on where my thought process goes. That's it. That's all it
Okay.
is. It's just that's all it is. So for a realistic person, is that's what they're looking at. We're not so much looking at, okay, well, this isn't out of my control. This is so on and so forth. It's never about that because some of that you already know, right? I already know that I can't control everything. I can only control certain things, right? And I'm always going to pick
Oh
peace
no, I'm
over
enjoying
everything.
peace. I'll tell you, me being optimistic now, that has got my peace easy because I don't think too heavy on it. So I don't think I need that balance. I guess I don't know. I guess every
Mm,
person is different. She said everybody
yeah,
different. So I just
everybody
actually
different.
work my way up to be in a think more optimistic because it helped me let things go and not think too hard on it. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think I need the balance. Me myself, I think some people probably do have to do that though, but I just don't need it
yeah.
because
I mean,
it
like
took
I'm
it was
somebody who
hard for
needs
me
the
to get
balance.
this way. So now that I'm here, it's just like no turning back.
I mean, I think you'll get there to that point. I'm not gonna ruin that
I'd
for
rather
you here.
not. It's easy. This is
I'm
peace.
not gonna
No,
ruin for you. I'm not gonna ruin it for you here, but I'm just gonna say, for me, yeah, I definitely need that balance. I need
no,
that balance in
I
order to
don't.
have that peace, and the reason for that is because I've tried to do the extremes, right? I used to live a very pessimistic life where I hated everybody and thought everybody was out to get me, and then took the complete extreme and was like, yeah, I'm just gonna be 100% positive. And then what ended up happening was every time something did not meet that expectation of that positivity, I fell straight back into pessimism every single time. It wasn't until I learned how to look at things with balance that I was able to find true peace with it. But that's just me, but I think you'll get there eventually.
Get where I don't want to get there. I'm good where I'm at. What the
No, I'm just
heck?
saying, if you got your peace, keep your peace, my
I
guy.
got
Do
my.
your
Oh yeah,
thing.
for
That's what
sure.
I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
don't. Yeah, as I said,
But
yeah,
I'm,
I'm good.
for me, it's not.
I'm
It's
not
not
stressing
about.
on this thing. I'm not cussing people out. Like I literally like this is literally has evolved my mentality to be this way though, for real.
I don't know, Kev. You just told me earlier you damn near was going off on some girl about being
No, I
delusional.
mean, of course I express my emotion, but I'm saying I don't cuss people out and call them out their name. That's something I only did that really like twice on this app. I did used to be worse than that. I used to, they say
Well,
how to
yeah,
spaz and
but
all that
that's
stuff. But
of
when I
course.
say I'm really working on stuff, I try to correct it as quick as I can. So,
Yeah,
I,
but that's my
um,
point. But my point to that, Kev, is right. Again, everybody's like, yeah, I'm not the way I used to be. The point of life is not to be the same way you used to be 5 years ago, 2 months ago, 3 weeks ago. That's not the point, right? You're
well,
not
you
going
must
to
have missed what
be
I
the
said
same
then.
person. If you're the same person you were 3 weeks ago, that's a little scary.
People is.
Okay, you're stagnating, right? I'm not going to be the same person. My temperament is going to change. I'm going to learn as things happen in my life. I'm not going to try to do the same things. And yeah, I'm going to slip up, right? But I can't sit there and say that I am 100% peaceful, right? There's no way right now, right? And that's just me. I'm not 100% peaceful, but I will strive to get there, right? I try to work on that every day is to keep my peace in alignment because
Mm,
I notice that when I'm not keeping that in check, right? And I'm not keeping me in check, right? I'm not keeping things balanced, is when I either start hurting other fucking people and I start becoming very destructive, right? But that's
yep.
just me. That's my way of dealing with shit. I'm not saying everybody does it the same way. Now I can
Yeah.
sit there and fix my mouth and say, well, I'm not as destructive as I was when I was in my 20s. Destruction is still destruction.
Yeah. I
You
think
know
the
what I'm saying?
deeper I get, the more optimistic I get too. I noticed that
Yeah.
too. Cause I don't learn how to, I've been more forgiving now. A lot of people like that. I learned, I mean, even my stress levels is lower now just because I look at the good and the bad and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't see no, I don't see nothing wrong so far in this journey because it has, I don't know. I guess I can't really explain it then because I
No, I
just don't
mean,
see
I
no point of me
understand.
looking back at, other things.
I
I
understand
don't
where you're
know.
coming from. I'm just saying, like, again, with me sharing what I'm sharing, I'm not saying that you have to do the same thing, right?
Okay.
I'm just pointing it, I'm just looking at it again from my point of view, which we've established you and I look at things differently. And that's
Yeah.
okay, right? So for you, you may not see anything, you may not have any issues with the way you're moving. That's fine. Do that. I'm just saying for me, I needed that balance,
Okay.
right? And some people do. So, but yeah, it does sound like you're balancing yourself out. I agree with Empress. But maybe that's why maybe you're
Yeah,
not
because I
realizing
don't.
that you're balancing yourself out.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you can get balance in eat. Well, I don't know about. I mean, I feel you can get balance though.
You can get balance in a lot of
You can
different
get
ways.
balance
That's
looking
why
at
I
that,
said
but
that's all a
I
spectrum.
just choose. I guess I choose not to look at the. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. How can I? If because it feel weird if I try to start. Not that I try to focus on looking at the good and the bad, and then try to switch it up and say that I want to look at the bad and the good.
You don't have to.
I don't. I'm trying to see how would I balance out. Is it? I'm trying to see when do I have to, or when should I have to look at the bad and the good
Okay.
when. Mm.
But I think you do that subconsciously without really realizing it.
Okay, I get you. Okay,
See
I
what I'm
feel you.
saying? So like for
I
example,
think that
when you get
happens
in your
automatic. That's
car, so it's like when you get in your car to go anywhere, right? You have we were talking about this, you have probability, right? You have the probability you can get into an accident,
yeah.
right? It's a gamble. Everything's a fucking gamble. He ain't in here, and I wish he was so I could mess with him by saying gamble.
All
But
right.
but it's a gamble, right? If I get behind the wheel of my car and I decide to leave my house, right? I'm hoping that I'm gonna make it home, right? But I'm prepared if I get into an accident, hence on insurance, right? And emergency funds. I'm prepared for that if that happens, right? If we're
Mm.
gonna talk about that aspect. So we do a lot of this subconsciously as well. We just don't think about it.
Did that make
Right?
you
It's not something that we're
pessimistic though?
sitting around like, hey, I gotta think about everything. It's some of the stuff subconscious. Huh?
I was saying, do it make you pessimistic to be observant of negative outcomes, but then helping for the best though
Again, you're
after
doing
negative?
both. I'm finding the balance in both. If I'm hoping for the best and preparing for the worst, I'm doing both. I'm prepared. I'm prepared and ready, basically, for any way that lands. So yes, of
Do you
course, the
think
goal is to make
pessimistic
it
is
home.
preparation,
Hmm?
or that's just actually saying that the worst, or hope, or expecting the worst? Oh, what is? I gotta look it up one more time.
Okay,
I looked
so
it up and it's still mixing it up. I'm getting mixed up.
when you're looking at people who thinks of things pessimistically, they're not looking at things in any form of hope. There's no hope, there's no faith, there's no nothing. It's just the world is shit, everything sucks, and everything's out to get you. Right? If we're talking about the extreme of pessimism, that is what that is.
So
So
it's
I
a
can't
tendency
hope
to worst.
for the
Expect
worst. I can't
of the.
I can't have faith that things are going to be terrible because I don't have that because I'm in a pessimistic mindset. So all I can do is be prepared, right? Because I already assume everything's going to be shit if I'm looking at things pessimistically. So all I can do is prepare for that. Right? But I'm going to hope for the best. And in that case of me getting in my car, the hope is that I make it home okay, unscathed and perfectly fine. Right? But I'm prepared in the event I hit somebody or somebody hits me.
Mhm.
Right? Or in the
I
worst
think
case
I
scenario,
think I
I
know
get
why
in an
we
accident
get
or
mixed
something like
up
that.
at, because one of them is
What's the
during a session. It's like, okay, I get you on preparation. I think the optimistic part of it is the outcome, the last result. I don't, when something already done happened already. I think that's where we get mixed up at. So
we're getting mixed
the
up where?
optimistic part is like after the deed is done, like, oh dang, I got popped in my leg or something like that. Somebody popped me in my leg or something. Me being optimistic, I'll be like, it's good that as long as I ain't lose my life, I'm saying maybe this will happen. So it's something it's something that was supposed to came out of this. It's something that I might have made the wrong move or something like that. So maybe it's something I should have had been more focused on or something like that. I don't, trying to look
No,
at like, instead of just like, dang, I can't believe this happened, or, huh?
the reality is going to be the outcome of however it falls, right? Because it doesn't always just fall within those two spectrums,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't just fall on like either side of those spectrums. It may fall in between, right? That's going to be the reality. That's the part you're going to have to deal with regardless, right?
Yeah.
What I'm talking about being hoping for the best, preparing for the worst. I'm going to
Yeah.
hope for the optimistic portion of that, right? So if I'm getting in my car and say I'm driving to the gas station, what's the optimistic side of that? I make it home okay, right? I make it there and back okay, unscathed, I'm fine, right? I get to pull into my driveway and drink my drink and do what I want to do, right? Or whatever the hell I went to the store for, right? That's the optimistic. That is what I'm hoping for. I am prepared in the event I get into a car accident, right? I'm going to
But that
prepare
don't
for
make you
that.
pessimistic though.
That doesn't make me pessimistic. That just means that I am prepared for the event I get into a car accident, but I am
Yeah.
hoping that I come home unscathed. Now, however that outcome turns out, right? Let's say I go to the store and let's say I don't necessarily get hit by another driver, but let's say I run into my garage, right? I got into a car accident, but I'm fine. I'm prepared for the
Yeah.
worst, which means, okay, cool, I got to call my insurance, but I'm happy because I'm fine because I got into an accident at 2 miles an hour.
Yeah. So
You know,
you could be
it could be
prepared for
worse.
the worst, optimistic though.
Not necessarily
How?
because I have to pay the deductible.
Because that's what I was saying. It seemed like you saying prepare for the worst, and tying that into
Okay, let's put it
being
this way. Okay, let's use a
pessimistic.
different
But
example. Hold on, I'll use a different example. Okay, when I passed out and fell off a ladder at a job I was working, what would have been the worst outcome of that? I could have broke my fucking neck and unalived,
right.
right? That would have been the worst possible outcome of that. Now, granted, I couldn't prepare for that, but that was always going to be a reality. If I'm going to be on a ladder, something can happen, right? But I'm going to hope that that didn't happen, right? Now, granted, I had to go to the hospital for that visit, okay? But again, I have to make sure I don't have internal bleeding and so on and so forth. So again, I'm hoping that I'm going to live to tell that tale, right? Am I prepared if that's not the case and I end up having to stay into the hospital for a couple of days? Yes. So it's neither optimistic or pessimistic, it's right in the middle.
Yeah, I was just saying. I think 'cause we talking about the during the situation. I use optimist after the fact. That's how I use. I don't use it during. So like, if something already bad happened, right? I still look at the good and the bad like it could have been worse or something like that. You see what I'm saying? That's just being optimistic. That's how I look at it. It's not during the situation and still thinking of worse. Why after that happened already? That's how. That's when I use, optimistic. Not during the. I mean, of course, you can still be or try to be optimistic while you driving, but you can still prepare for the worst. But that don't make you pessimistic. You see what I'm saying?
But that's what I keep trying to tell you. You're not when you're thinking that way, you're not pessimistic or optimistic. You're in the
Right.
middle.
Yeah, yeah, that's in the middle.
Yeah, you're
I
in
was
the
just talking
middle.
about the
So you're not
outcome.
thinking either way. So even though I'm prepared for the worst, that doesn't mean that it's pessimistic. If I'm hoping for the best, that doesn't mean that I'm optimistic. It's the balance,
Yeah.
right? So again, it's kind of like when I was telling you earlier with dealing with my situation with my grandfather, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he has stage 4 cancer. He's refused treatment, right? The
Right.
pessimistic part of my brain is saying, hey, he didn't have much longer. He's going to unalive, right? We don't know when, but it's going to happen, right? But then the other part of my brain, right, or the optimistic portion of it, if I'm looking at it, is that I have time now. So let me pick and try to hit it in the middle. Let me spend time with him, but also prepare for when he's no longer gonna be here, and do the best I can for that.
Mm.
Neither pessimistic or optimistic. It's just being realistic. Realistically, people unalive. It happens,
Right. Most definitely. I feel you on that.
right?
I feel you on that.
That's inevitable, right? The optimistic portion of me, right, and also the realistic portion of it, right, also go hand in hand, right?
Right.
Just like that pessimistic side of it went hand in hand, is that we have time now.
So,
So let's spend
so
time.
what will be the point? That's what I'm trying to get to. So, what will be the point of just like looking at the bad first, or looking at the bad and the good, and then switch back over to looking at the when you can just always just look at the good and the bad,
Because if
even
I'm
though
only
we
looking
know
at
that
the
he going
good,
through right, he going through what he going through, and you can be like, well, at least you know what I'm saying. We got to try to do what's best at this moment, even though we know that realistically they going through what they going through, but you can still say I can make the best out the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's what's happening or something like instead of be like, dang, he can die. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Even though realistic,
because the
we of course that
reality
both
of the
realistic, but
situation, because the
huh?
reality of the situation, along with my self awareness, right, and how I am, and how my surroundings are, the reality of my situation is when he kicks the bucket, I'm not going to have time to grieve during that time because I'm going to be incredibly busy keeping other people standing, right? So I have to prepare now for that, right? I have to make peace with that now, all while he's still alive, right? But that doesn't mean that that's the reality of the situation. The reality is that it's a tough spot, right? The reality also, okay, I have to watch him deteriorate because he's refused treatment. I have to watch that. And I have to deal with those emotions and those things. So the reality of it is the reason why it's good to also look at the negative and the positive of these situations is that it not only gives you time to prepare, but it also gives you time to make and deal within your own peace, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my peace. Exactly what Empress said.
Yeah, I'm
That's
about to
all it
say I
is.
feel that too. That's all I look at.
But
I'll
that's
be
life.
trying to stray away from the negative as much as I can. That's
Yeah,
all it
that's
is.
cool.
I think that's what it is. That's what bring me peace.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
all it
don't,
is.
but I also don't want you to think that I look at that at everything, right? Obviously, if I'm sitting there at I don't know, an ice cream, let's say I'm at McDonald's, right? Let's be real. Let's talk about McDonald's and how on hot days their ice cream machine ain't never fucking working, right? I can look at that and be like, God damn it, McDonald's, y'all fucking lying. You know your ice cream machine work. I can sit here and get upset about it, right? I can run to the pessimistic side of that, or I can just be like, it is what it is, and go to Dairy Queen.
Facts.
So I'm not
That's
gonna
my
sit there and
lifestyle right now. I
say
ain't gonna lie.
that.
That's literally my
But that's
lifestyle.
but that's what I'm
Because
saying.
I
It's
always look at it as no,
situational.
it's nothing you get out of complaining. That's why I'm like, no, it's no point. It's like I'm like,
But
whatever.
that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
this
I could
wasn't
go
meant.
into but could
I'm
I go
quick
into
to
the
say it
McDonald's?
wasn't meant.
But here's the thing, right? This is why I said it's situational. Could I go in that McDonald's and raise hell and be a Karen and need to talk to the manager about it?
Not the care.
Absolutely. Or I could just be like, you know what, Dairy Queen across the street, I'm gonna go get a Blizzard.
Right.
Not that big of a deal. I'm gonna come over here, get my little burger and my fries, I'm gonna go over there.
Yeah.
Same concept, right? So it's not saying that you know what I mean. Even realistic people are thinking about it like that all the time. But when it comes to like hard decisions, hard life decisions, right? It's how you're looking at it. Again, do I think optimistic people are dumb? No. I think there's something quite beautiful within optimistic people in the way that they see things. That naivety, you ever hear that saying, ignorance is bliss?
Hmm.
It's a true statement. But there's also beauty within pessimism as well. And I see the difference in both.
Please explain.
The beauty in pessimism?
You knew I had to say something about that one.
I knew you were
Please
gonna.
say.
I knew he was gonna turn his head and be like, "What? That's
Please
it?"
tell me that one.
The beauty in pessimism is that you can't be disappointed.
Okay, I get you in
You
preparation.
can
I
never
got.
be disappointed because you're already expecting the disappointment. What expectations do you have when you expect everything to be shit? You have none. So it's
I
bliss in a
guess I
different
get you.
way.
You can have your. You can be like, I knew it. You can have that I knew it thing. I guess.
It's bliss in a different way, right? Then you have realistic people and idealistic people who tend to be in the middle, right? The difference between a realist and an idealistic person is the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Realistic people don't live in woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's this is what happened. This is what I learned from it. This is what I'm gonna do differently. That's it. Everybody else woulda, coulda, shoulda. Well, if this would have happened, then I could have done this, and I should have done that. That gets you nowhere.
My boy Kev popped up here.
Welcome in, welcome in. Is he in the box? I see a box, but I don't
I
see
see
nobody in
invite,
the box.
right? Just see the box. Let me thank Optimistic real quick. He'll be here, and if he be here, he gonna be here. If he don't, we can read.
I want to hear
I'm gonna
it.
think the worst. He's over there. Like, I always gotta circle all this stuff around all the time. He might have been in trouble or something like that. His connection probably is it's like, uh, well, let me
That
be real
connection.
though. The box is here. That's the real part.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
He said bad connection. Okay. See, I would have been right if I was pessimistic. He probably had a bad connection. And it's
Yeah.
real. And that was real too.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Kev, it's all situational based.
No, I haven't changed in prison. I don't care. I'm not changing. I didn't change. I'm the same person, man.
Right.
Oh,
Well, no,
man.
you have changed, Kev. Don't sit there and say that.
I,
Like the
I
only
feel you.
reason why your box real small right now is because you ain't got a haircut.
Shh. Hold up. Leave me alone. Oops, wrong voice.
It's
I meant
right.
to
Like
say,
next
leave me
week,
alone.
it's fine.
Leave
Like
me
next
alone.
week, you know what I mean? Your box gonna be all huge. Everybody gonna be all small, and you
Oh
know,
yeah, oh
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes,
people getting a
yes.
haircut. You know, he got to show everybody the lineup
I
and the
gotta.
structure
All
of
right. I don't
everything.
know what's. I never was even paying attention to that. Everybody was looking at it and they put it on spot. I blame Petty, man. She the one came up with that, man. I swear I was never paying attention. She's like, why your box so big?
Shoot
I
me,
don't be
bro. Like
worried
that was like
about
the
that,
first thing I
man.
noticed when you got your little cut. I was like, why he so big? Why he talking so loud? Like, Kevin, we see your hair. We got you. We see your
Hey,
bonnet.
I told her next time that's when you know it's super crispy. I said it's just gonna be no background. It's just gonna be the whole. Oh, the topic is it's on the top of my lineup. You
The top of your line.
know, read the line. It's like, but
Read the line, okay? Read the line. Here it is.
that's funny.
That's funny. Shit's what. But yeah, I this. I don't remember how it related into the topic of delusion.
I guess it'd be delusional to think that everybody can be all four. It's like the only four. It's like no. Like I
I
said.
think it would be delusional if you think you have to be only one,
Yeah, I feel you.
but
I
that's
feel
just
you.
me.
No.
But like I said, that's
But you could
completely.
strive to be one. You know what I'm saying? You can strive.
You can strive, but again, I still think that's delusional.
What to try?
Have a good one, Empress. No, like I think it's delusional to only want to operate in one.
Oh no, I don't
That's
think
just
we
me.
operate in one. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think it's hard to operate in one.
yeah. Like I
Oh
think it's
no, I can't lie because I believe. Well, can people operate pessimistic? I think that's like a natural thing. I would say for humans
thank you,
to
thank you.
always look at the worst and the good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's automatic, natural because reason why I say that's automatic because it's like us being in survival mode, and we got like sometimes we have fears, we have and it's a defense mechanism. It's no different from like judgment and all that stuff. That's just something I think we naturally have. So I think that's like a natural
Mm-hmm.
thing to be pessimistic. I believe.
I think the world is good at convincing people that they need to be pessimistic by keeping us in a place where we have to be scared and
I get you.
jittery and focusing on only the negative things. Because even if you think about it, even when we're growing up, learning about the differences amongst each other, it's always done in a negative way,
Yeah,
in a pessimistic way, instead of being like optimistic, like, hey, that's cool that you different from me.
yeah,
We never hear that, right? Even, and I think that's the reason why, like, even when it comes to anything really, you know what I mean? If you're different from me, we have to look at the negative. I have to find a way to put you down because you're not me.
yeah.
So I think as a society, we're good at that and having that negativity and focusing mostly in pessimism and calling that realistic, being realistic, but I don't think that's being realistic at all. I think
Yeah,
that's just jumping from one extreme to the other. And that to me is not balance. You can't go from one extreme to the other. The balance is finding the middle ground, right?
yeah,
And also having enough self-awareness to understand that you don't may not want to be there, right? If you're somebody like you, Kev, where you just want to deal with mostly the optimistic side of things, then it doesn't make sense for you to jump over to the extreme of pessimism.
yeah. Good
So
looks.
don't
Yes, yes, yes. Like don't start acting like
don't you start that shit out
pizza's
of
so
me,
good.
bruh. I'm so tired of them fucking like, bro. I had to unfollow so many damn people because of them fucking lives. Like I was like, what the fuck is this, bro?
Like, she
this
going crazy.
this
She
is
got
what
a
we're
million
doing.
followers now, man.
Like,
She,
okay, y'all want to know the ones that like, okay, it makes sense on why they be making hella money. You know the ones that be pretending to be asleep, and if you send a gift, it like makes a noise, and they wake up and they get
Pinky
all
down.
mad. That makes
The say
sense.
you say it again.
The ones with that have like they have like the lives they pretend to be asleep, and if you send like certain gifts, it like plays a noise over a loudspeaker, and they wake up and get pissed.
Mm.
Those people is smart. That makes more sense,
That's
right?
funny.
Like I'd be sending roses, and it'd just be like, "Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up!" Like you make a whole ass beat in there if you want to with some fucking gifts. That's fun,
Oh, right. That sounds sweet.
right?
Right.
Because they just beating up, like with the little sounds. But then you got
You
the
seen the
little
two girls? It's like two girls that be doing it at the same time. They like, oh,
yeah.
they like, I don't
It's
know.
like Coach or whatever. Yeah, I used to follow. I still follow them.
They
I'm
be one in the
homies with
background and
them.
one in the foreground. They be like, yeah, cowboy or something crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm homies with them, and they be doing that. And I'm like, I used to jump in y'all's lives because like one of them's a DJ.
right?
Mm.
So I used to jump in there like late at night, right?
Hmm.
Because like she be playing all the good fucking tunes and shit. So I'd be in there like, yeah, we'd be in there vibing, telling jokes. We play fun games, you know what I mean? And now it's just that, and I'm like, this is just sad at this point. I mean, get your money, but damn, it's just sad. What's up?
Say it.
Welcome in,
Mr. P in the building. Y'all need to
Mr.
affirm whatever I say in my reality. And don't be a
P.
bigot. There we go. Delusion time is back.
How
We
does
back.
the
We back on topic
delusion?
now.
Hey, if we gonna do delusion, I mean, if we just saying some stupid delusional shit, look, all I'm gonna say is I got my degree at the TikTok University. Okay, I done mastered psychology, spirituality, and being a masterful human. All within my 31 years of life. You can't tell me nothing.
Mm.
And if you disagree with me, you just a narcissist because my TikTok degree, I also majored in entitlement, which meant that I have to be right at all times and you must pander to me. So if you don't do those things, then I get to call you terrible names and so
More.
on and so forth out your name and accuse you of
And
some
one plus
shit
two equal
that did
fish.
not happen. And then every Sunday, you know what I mean, I go to this masterful church where I get to learn and read from the master book of manipulations. And it teaches me how to emotionally manipulate everybody that comes into contact with me. Shall I continue?
And say less. And right. And say and don't
No,
say
I
no
mean,
more. Only speak on my behalf.
yeah, you can only speak on my behalf. It is only if it's agreeing with me. Just want you to
Mm.
know.
I got my PhD in life on the school of hard
No, you
knocks.
can't
Boy.
say that, okay? You can't say that because that's statist and I'm offended.
Uh, what the status? What the
I'm very offended by that, and I think you only said that because I'm a woman.
right, exactly. And that's being a bigot.
I'm waiting for him to come up and he's like, AJ, what the hell you
That's because he playing around with you. That's why. He said, we in the same class. I'm offended by my own comment. It was like Smith's planning myself. Wow.
Yeah, how dare you mansplain yourself?
Mansplaining. I gotta look what the heck that is. I heard that a few times. What the heck is that?
Look, there's times where like I have had dudes mansplain some shit to me, but it's very rare most of the time. A lot of the time I think they're just repeating back to what I said because they're trying to understand. I don't think that's mansplaining.
That's really a word? Oh my goodness. What the freak?
Yeah,
That's in the
Kev, it's a
dictionary.
word. Stop man Kevin, I'm gonna need you to stop
Information.
mansplaining in this life right now.
What the freak? Explanation of something by a man, typically to women, in manner regarded as condescending or patronizing.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
learned something. I thought that was just some stuff that they thought. Wow,
Educate yourself. You should know. Now I'm offended that you didn't know that.
right, right, exactly. How you
Okay.
not know that? You not knowing that mean that you
Look, this is my feelings, okay? And my feelings are more important than everybody in this room. I don't
Here,
like it.
Kev, let me mansplaining to you.
Yeah.
Basically, your mouth was moving, and then it doesn't matter what words came out. With the women here, is derogatory statements because you were just talking in the first place. That was the mistake. So just the
my bad.
talking is the problem, and it was coming from a man, and so therefore it's mansplaining. And
Uh,
Can I breathe though?
whoa, hold on. Hold the phone. How dare you say that, Master P? Okay, I am beyond offended, and you know what? I can't even talk to you right now. I gotta go.
I'm offended that people call me Master P because it's Mr. Print.
Mr. P. Yes.
I ain't trying to be nobody's master. That's just a bad thing in today's world. So
Facts. Facts. Well, I'm sorry I got your name wrong, but I'm not going to apologize to you because you hurt my feelings originally, so therefore it justified me
saying your name somehow.
I will apologize for the fact that you even thought an apology was necessary at all.
I'm just saying.
I
Jeez.
feel like
I feel like he's gonna mansplain my feelings to me right now.
I would try to womansplain them, but I'm not feeling that, like identifying that way
not
right now.
today, not
Not
today,
today.
only tomorrow. Let me stop for it. I'm getting
Come
a
on,
whole
bro, I'm trying to
103.
be delusional for you, okay? I'm trying to make sure we got something to talk about. We're trying to be delusional, trying to support you, Kev. It
It's
ain't
gonna be
good
500
enough.
people. Like, I feel you. Whatever you're saying, I feel it. That's how bad it is nowadays.
Oh, you want me to talk on some stupid shit? I can talk on some stupid shit that is a lot of consensus on here.
I'm gonna
There's some
add you. I
easy
hope
shit.
that's not offensive.
Oh my god, I'm so
Oh,
offended.
we're
Don't
friends
you
already.
dare.
We're friends
Yeah.
already.
Oh, and you forgot we were friends. Oh my god.
Well, I
Mm-mm.
just when I start mansplaining, people just unadd me. So I
Oh
just
Lord. Now I'm in my feelings.
Oh
Bro,
man.
I'm not good at being in my feelings in case y'all hadn't noticed. I am not one of those people.
Yeah, that's kind of hard when you do
Yeah,
that.
delusional people. We talk about delusional people, the people who think that it's perfectly okay and justified to emotionally manipulate people.
That's all
Oh
that
yeah, I'm gonna
is.
call out my own community. Women, stop doing that shit. You're making us all
Uh-oh.
look stupid.
Well, hey guys,
I'll
I
let you
just
do your
saw
thing.
your comment. I wanted to come in and make some smart remarks for a minute, get some giggles in. So
Yes,
I appreciate the time that you give me, Kev. Always, I do.
Oh, yeah, for
And
sure, man.
it was a
absolutely.
pleasure being here. Mostly my pleasure because I'm selfish like that. So thank you again.
I love that.
He just mansplained me.
Yeah, he did. How dare you?
You all have a
Out
wonderful
there.
Sunday.
You have a
For
wonderful
sure,
Sunday.
man. You too.
That's funny. See, I love people that are like that can come in and just roll with it and understand that I'm playing.
Dude,
'Cause I
right.
think one time I tried to do that in here and somebody seriously thought I was
Somebody.
serious.
Yeah, you gonna find one. You gonna find a
I was like,
couple.
bruh, I am not serious by any means right now. I should change my name to AJ Speaks to AJ the non-pander.
Oh my. They gonna be hovering over your name. Like, wait till I
Who is this?
banana.
Who is this? She
Right.
did what? She said what?
And she said
Hmm.
what?
She said what? I said it.
All
Okay.
right, with my whole chest.
With my whole chest. Why? Because I'm not going to sit there and say not all men and not all women when explaining something. Again, if the shoe fits, get to stepping, boo boo.
Right.
If it don't apply, let it fly.
Let it fly.
Because I never once walked into a live on here where they was talking about some women doing some egregious shit, and did I take offense to it? Because I wasn't one of them women. I was just like,
Right.
damn, that's crazy.
That's wild. I feel sad for them type. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm
That's what
saying,
you
but I
do.
mean, the most of the time, the people that want me to do that are usually the people who I'm getting a little too close to their delusional ass, and I'm about to shatter that illusion. They don't want that.
Not all.
Not
I need to make
all.
a a sound thing on that.
Not
Not
all.
all.
It's all right. I'm gonna make a TikTok university jingle. It's gonna be great. Be like, get your degree, set yourself free. Sitting here on TikTok University.
Uh-oh. Not all. And he's gonna throw it in the
Not
back.
all.
Not all in your misogyny. With that degree. And care about my
Do it up,
feelings.
Will. Do it up. We down. Do your thing.
I have a story I created. Make music I have.
An idea
Oh.
to post instrumental with still images with lessons in life. Yeah, dude, do it. At the end of the day, that's really how we kind of save each other from a lot of these delusions and stuff like that. Because a lot of the reason why people feel delusional is because they feel like they're the only ones. Because it makes them feel like they have to be the exception to the rule. It's when we actually open up and share, and we realize that we're not really alone in the first place.
Right.
Do a lot of shit, and then that kind of shatters that, and it kind of brings it more into reality, and then people kind of want to, go outside and go touch some fucking grass.
Right. What is this green stuff? Hold on real quick.
Fuck your feelings. I'm so following you just based off the fucking name. I love it. Oh mind Kev. Kev is on our pilot is currently doing their own thing right now. But if y'all can tap the screen, share the live. Feel free to jump into the conversation at any point. Please don't take me too seriously. I'm mostly just playing a lot of the time. It's all good fun. But let's share some life lessons and some laughs because you either gonna laugh about it or you gonna learn from it. So let's go. Dang, I made a better slogan than Kev ever did. Don't tell him though, he ain't paying attention. Don't tell him that secret, but we gonna knock it out. So let's go ahead and tap the screen, y'all. What kind of stories you got, Will? If you still in here. I don't know. I don't know what his big head self is doing, but I don't even know. I'm gonna stop talking shit because I think he can hear me, but I'm not sure. Nah, I don't think he can hear me at all. But it's alright. We just gonna continue talking some shit and do what we do. Do what we do best. Just fucking with Kev, his big head self. So let's talk about delusions, right? And these times in our lives where we have felt delusional. Oh, stories that speak about lessons and transformations for the better. Can you give me an example of that? Oh, there's not enough people to go live. Oh, y'all, I just got some superpowers in here. Oh, don't y'all be telling me this. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I need everybody to share the live. Tap the screen. I'm going to share it out too. Everybody share it out to like 10 people. Let's go. Share it out. There's some people I ain't seen in here in a minute. I mean, I met them in here. I just don't know why I ain't seen them in a minute. Oh, Mika. Yeah, I'm excited about that, Will, though. It'd be dope. Of course, you give me superpowers and ain't nobody in here. See how his ass is inside. I'm gonna stop making him laugh. He probably on a serious phone call. Okay. That's definitely a little different.
Whatnot. But yeah, I'm excited. I think that would be a really good idea. Definitely help. I think a delusion that a lot of people have is they don't have any more faith in anything outside of themselves. I think that's a major reason why the world's going to shit. But that's just me. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would like to see more introspective conversations on here, to be honest. I think that'd be a good idea. And I would also like to say, due to the topic, yeah, y'all are supposed to follow me in my delusions. Duh. I don't know who the hell lied to y'all, but I'm always right. And the moment you realize that, you know, the better. You know what I mean? I don't gotta take accountability for shit or what y'all thinking. But yeah, you're supposed to blindly follow. Like, how dare you ask questions? Who's you to ask questions to my delusion? So what if I believe that you're supposed to put your toilet paper over and not under? You ain't supposed to ask questions. You supposed to put your toilet paper over and not under. Okay? I also believe that you should not be putting pineapple on pizza. Y'all ain't supposed to question me on that. You supposed to not put no pineapple on no pizza. Fight me. I also believe that bologna is just hot dog pancakes. Fight me on it. I dare you. I double dare you. Triple dare you. Exactly. Y'all ain't got nothing to say against my delusion. So y'all just supposed to follow suit, do what I need to do. Thank you. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in, DJ. Yes, hot dog pancakes.
Yo, yo.
Yo, what's up? I'm in here being silly, talking about my delusions that y'all supposed to follow blindly. You ain't allowed to ask no damn questions.
Huh?
The topic, just because you choose to live in delusion doesn't mean everyone has to follow. And I'm saying, y'all supposed to follow my delusions. I don't know who lied to y'all. I'm just kidding. I'm so kidding. Y'all don't gotta. Well, let's talk about it. Just trying to be entertaining for y'all.
Nah, I just came up for a Zoom call, so
Yeah.
I gotta reprogram my mind back into TikTok world.
Oh, you good. I'm just gonna come up here and keep spewing my nonsense. So, enjoy and feel free to chime in at any time y'all would like. But just remember, y'all can't argue with me though. That's not allowed. Not in here. Not in the non-pandering room. The only person you're gonna pander to is me. No accountability for me.
What are you doing?
What else? One of my crazy delusions. I would also like to say and make the statement that you cannot stand backwards on a staircase. You can argue with me all you want, but right now I know at least 5 of you are probably out on your staircase trying it right now. But you cannot. Also, if you anything like Kev and put your milk before your cereal, follow me now. I need you to unfollow me. You put your milk before your cereal.
I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know who taught you that. Do not do that.
What's up, Kev? What's going on, man?
He on the phone.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm destroying his live little by little,
Okay.
spewing some craziness.
So, hey, I never been live with you, have I?
I think we've been in the panel at different times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Well,
So you said you're delusional?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm being very delusional in this live, and I'm saying everybody got to listen to me. You know what I mean? So, if y'all like to eat that, what is it? Them frosted mini weeds, them unfrosted mini weeds. Why don't y'all just admit you just like eating frosted wicker furniture? At the end of the day, just eat a wicker basket. Okay, that's the same concept, right? It's the same thing. It's gross. Okay.
Apple?
No, not an apple. Like the frosted mini wheats cereal.
Oh yeah, no, I need that stuff.
Yeah, that ain't cereal. That's just frosted wicker furniture. Y'all gonna believe my delusions? Don't you question me on my delusions today?
Did you know breakfast was a man-made construct where back in the 20s,
Sigmund Freud, please tell us.
Edward Bernays is the grandfather of propaganda. So corporations come to him and ask him, how can we sell these products? Breakfast like cereals, bacon and egg. Like he come to these companies come to him and ask him, how can we sell these products, sell more of these products? And they would use so they would use doctors to prescribe a healthy breakfast would be cereal. A healthy breakfast would be bacon and
It
egg,
was bacon, eggs, toast, because they were trying to sell. They had a surplus of pigs and eggs. So the Farmers Association got with the doctors to say that breakfast is the most important meal. So you're right. I'm with you, Claude. I'm with you. I know exactly what you're talking
Yep.
about. It was a psyop, basically, psychological operation to get people to buy pork and to buy eggs and to drink milk.
corporations.
Yeah.
So he did the same thing in the war in Guatemala with the to get rid of one of the government over there by propaganda. Same with in the 40s with the joint military. They did all those same thing with we
I
say
would say
yo we want you that flyer, famous
Oh
flyer.
yeah, the Uncle Sam.
Yeah. So
Got 26 minutes for y'all, my peoples.
You don't get to tell me nothing on our delusions. You let us have
I'm
our
sorry. Yeah,
delusions,
you right.
Kev.
You right. You right. You right. It's off.
You don't left
You
me
right.
in charge. You don't gave me superpowers you shouldn't have never gave me.
Right. They gave you the superpower. That
With
boy
like,
Tony be so fast when he be accepting people up. Like, no, I don't even get to click it fast enough. I
I'm
forgot I
saying,
got to get DJ the superpowers too.
yeah,
Oh,
give him
hold up. He
a.
been cheating on my lives. Like, I got to take his powers away.
You better not take his
So
powers
no,
away. You
talking
better
it
stop.
up.
You know what? I better stop
No,
with
he
that.
been in here a little bit though. Yeah, I
He's
think the
cool.
first
He
time I
came in
met
all mad
DJ and stuff, I was
distracted.
like, no, I gotta
He
make
been
him a mod.
laughing at
He
me.
preaching. I mean, he got a little toxicness about him, but we gonna work with that though.
it's TikTok world, bro.
He be like, what about
It's
F that beat?
TikTok.
I'm like, no, I ain't trying to. What the hell is
Hey,
it? I'm like, nah, I'm
excuse
trying to get
me.
people away from
Are you
the hoes.
trying to tell me that we're not allowed to act entitled? Okay, I went to this TikTok university. I majored in entitled.
You did major
You
it
gonna
though, for
listen.
real.
You
And
gonna
we gotta
listen to
follow it
me.
too.
I gotta what?
We gotta follow it too, because that's how the topic is. We gotta
Yeah, you have
follow
to
it.
blindly follow me.
Right.
I can hold y'all accountable. Y'all can't hold me accountable. You gotta just believe my bullshit.
Ain't that something?
Delusion,
Hey,
man.
it's people that really think like that. That's what's crazy about that too. I
Think
can
what?
hold y'all accountable, but you can't hold me accountable because I get to
How
make
dare you
excuses.
think you can hold me accountable? What you talking about? Ain't the
That's my
same level.
that's my ex mother in law. That's her.
Damn.
I would love cupcakes.
She said y'all need counseling. I'm okay. That's for people with problems. They was trying to let her know you the reason why we got these problems. Her kids. They wanted to go counseling with her. She said y'all the ones that need. I'm like, damn. They trying to get some healing, and Mama don't want them to. They needed her there.
Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
They needed her there for the healing. They all had been doing shadow work on their own, talking to each other about like stuff they went through as kids that they didn't realize that shaped them to who they are today.
Right.
And the like now I wouldn't say the last, but like the breakthrough was them all coming together on they coming together as a family and doing like a family counseling session. So nobody was able to get their closure from their past because the mom don't believe in that mess type shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, that happens all the time. All the time. I mean, hold up. I ain't supposed to agree to that. See, that happened to everybody else but me.
I
My
wasn't
bad.
supposed to agree to that.
I wasn't supposed to agree to that like that. I was supposed to say that happened to everybody else but me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't supposed to question me, right? Never.
Okay, you are the voice of reason. I feel you.
I'm the voice of reason on everything. Even things that I ain't got no business having no voice of reason on.
Mm-hmm.
The voice of
Uh,
unreason.
And I
oh,
agree. And I
he,
Because
approve
my
this
he,
my
message.
my my, my degree in entitlement says so.
Oh,
And we won't
I
even get
swear a lot of
started
people got
on
that
my
degree.
psychology
Little
TikTok
do they
degree,
know it.
okay? If you
right.
disagree with
Yeah.
me, you're a
Them
narcissist.
TikTok professional intellectuals.
Yeah. You didn't know? You know what I mean? I'm a whole certified. Look, I don't mastered psychology. I mastered being a human and I mastered spirituality all by the
No,
time I
yeah.
was 31, all on
Right.
this
We
app.
all
I'm the
Socrates and
master.
Homers.
That's why I came on here and said I gotta get in my TikTok brain. I gotta,
Yeah.
I was on different
Yeah.
conversation. Come over
The
here and
philosophy, psychology, even alchemy. Goddamn it. We done all did it all, huh?
Absolutely. Look, I
Everything.
done mastered
all the trick.
18, practices that take a whole lifetime to master. I did it, and I'm only 31.
And I'm a
Y'all slacking.
dinosaur
That's why
too.
none of y'all can tell me nothing.
You
I
can't tell me
always say
anything different.
what get people caught up is the passion behind people's voices. Because a lot of time, because passion is misconstrued with uh
Knowledge.
confidence of what you're saying and
Yeah.
knowledge. So when you hear somebody talking passionately, and especially when you can tell it's not angry, you be like, oh, he talking that talk. No matter what he said, it's a nice percentage of the room that's going to agree with him until they walk away and realize that was some bullshit. Just
See, I
because
need
in the
him to
room,
stop telling everybody
the way
my
it feels.
secrets.
That's why it's the words. Words.
I'm gonna need you not tell
I'm an
everybody my
active listener.
secrets.
Oh shit, my bad, my
You
bad.
telling everybody my
I'm trying to get
secrets,
your
man. I'm
coins.
just
I'm
over
trying to step
here.
your
I'm
coins.
trying to raise
Who's taking
awareness.
their coins? She just got
Okay.
10 of them things too, man.
Hold on. I gotta put on my passion voice for this. Look, okay. I think it's very messed up what the entire world is doing by putting dihydrogen oxide on all of our fruits and vegetables. Okay, it's messed up. Do not do it. All right. We shouldn't even be drinking it, even though our bodies need it. It's messed up.
He
And
said
he
the
shouldn't be eating in the camera too. He's not entitled to eat in the camera because
He
he's
over there
messing up with
eating
my
this
feelings.
dihydrogen oxide.
right. Oh,
I'm
right.
hungry. When
Yeah,
I'm
he's over
hungry,
there
he's
thinking
not supposed
that
to eat in my face.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
That's
man,
food bashing.
those are rules over here. We can't do that because that's what. Yeah, man. No, you know that ain't right. You know
Yeah,
that ain't right. Yeah, yeah.
He's a bigoted. That's their
yeah.
favorite word they got to go to
You're
all the
thinking
time.
about this. You ain't even thinking about the people that's too broke to buy food right now. Like you just eating in face.
My fault.
Selfish.
I'll take
See,
the blame for it.
that's that patriarchy right there, man. That
Right.
got you just feeling privileged to eat food in front of people.
Everything go back to patriarchy, right? No matter what you say, it got to go right back to that every time, man.
Y'all did not just
You
mansplain that
know
to
them
me.
negative thoughts came from patriarchy.
Right. The negative thoughts.
Don't get me started on my negative thoughts, all right? That aren't my fault. It's everyone else's fault that I have the negative thoughts.
Oh, it's my
Mm.
fault. I'm a man. I created this world for you to
Yeah, you
have
created
these
negative thoughts,
It
all
negative.
right?
had
I'm
to
gonna
be
need you to take that
patriarchy that
back.
made me think of this topic.
Kevin's
Right,
favorite word is about ego.
right. Because you need to wake them divestors up and realize so they can realize that they
Ego.
delusional. They
Oh, it's
need a
insecure.
man.
It's insecure, Kevin. You always say insecure. It's insecure
Right.
code.
Right.
That
No.
get people
All
triggered,
the
bro.
time. all the time. You must be
Wait,
insecure while you
wait,
care
wait.
about me.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Here,
Did y'all just say I'm insecure?
Yep.
You know what? You know what? I can't do this. All right, y'all about to slip all on some banana pills.
you sound triggered.
Right, that banana peel going crazy,
I'm
right?
triggered.
Ain't no
Oh my
word
god.
more triggering than trigger. I swear to God. Ain't no word more triggering than saying you triggered. That's when you do trigger somebody. That's when
You
you really
do.
try.
You do. Ain't no lie about that. Oh, you triggered. Then you get triggered from getting called triggered.
Or to say like, are you upset? That's a compassionate question. Don't ask. That's a, I'm sorry that I upset you. I guess because people be online trying to upset people, they thinking that I'm being facetious. But I'm like, that's just how I move. If I upset you, I'm trying to back the car up and then and repark this thing because obviously I went in wrong. Like I wasn't trying to,
Loud.
but you can't even say you can't be genuine online. It's crazy. You can't
Okay.
What's
be.
being genuine? Everybody out to get
I don't
us.
know.
No, I'm a narc if I'm genuine. If I'm
Yeah.
genuine, I'm a
You
narc
part of the ops,
because
bro.
I'm telling you what you want to hear.
It's because you part of
So
the ops, bro. We don't know.
Yep.
so so no,
You
he's
either
he's
with me or
he's
against
saying
me.
all the right things. That used to be my problem in dating. Saying all the right things made me
Oops.
look like I was up to something. I used to hear this a lot of times. I'm just waiting on another shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Damn.
Just don't
Sound
be
like
Why can't I be
insecure.
a good person?
sound like Steve Harvey.
Uh
Steve
oh.
Harvey.
Bruh, he going through it.
I've
Alright, I'm
been
gonna stop
seeing
being
her
delusional.
posted like crazy on that. What's that about? Well, he
Say
took
the
his
right
ex back
thing.
or something like that.
Alright, I'm gonna
Or
stop
his
being
ex took him back.
delusional now.
His wife cheated on him,
Bro,
but
this a
the
He
lot
said,
of
"I'm gonna
work.
stop being delusional." Now we talking.
No, hold up. I'm gonna tell you why, bro. This is a lot of work to be. This is a whole lot of work.
Yeah, it do take a lot.
Oh, here trying to, bro. This is look. Okay, I'm gonna shout a delusion for some of y'all. Okay, you hear me? I ask out of
She
breath
breathing
and
hard
shit.
off that. It ain't hard for the
Look,
people that do it though. It's a habit.
no, hear my thing though. Hear my thing. Right. All these fucking delusions y'all have about other people's lives and try to tell people how they need to live their lives and how they need to conduct themselves. You ever think that if you took like a tenth of that energy, reinvested it in yourself, you'd be a lot further in life? But we
Mm.
can't talk about that. My bad.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna be
Oh.
quiet. I'm gonna get canceled for even just saying that.
Ouch.
But you know,
Ouch.
just saying,
Don't
you'd
hurt.
be a lot farther in
Don't.
life. I'm just saying, because that was a lot of energy, and I was that was what 5 minutes, and I mostly was saying that just to make Kev laugh on his phone call.
Made it right. I had to hang up.
Probably over there talking to his boss, trying not to laugh. Is it me?
Like, bro, I told you I'm sick.
I'm saying,
I'm sick. Shit.
say, man, the news telling it on people. I woke up this morning. I know I'm getting old. I turned the news on when I woke up this morning, bruh, and they telling on people. These people that's doing these, what they call them, quiet vacays or something. People that work remotely, they secretly be going off on vacation and don't tell
Mhm.
nobody, but they just keep working. I
Mm-hmm.
woke up on the news and they was talking about that. I said,
Yep, I
why would
forced you
y'all
up
do
here.
that? Y'all mad because y'all got to be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning? Why y'all doing a news special on Sunday morning when all the bosses at home? That's messed up.
That part. Like y'all just snitched on everybody.
Right. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this new trend that's going on, the quiet, and then they explained it. I'm like, y'all wrong for that.
They be
Hey,
doing that
but
all the time.
it's not a slow news morning. Like, why is that on? There's a ton of things to talk about. Like, that's not one of them. That's not even real news.
I just don't feel like you should be giving a shit. Like me personally, I'm like that shit one shouldn't be on the news, and two, who cares as long as they doing the work.
The corporations who can't control you no more because you had an option to work at home. They
Yeah, I know
scared to
that's the reason
control
why they
you.
forced so many of us
Yeah,
back in the office. Like I got forced back in the office.
right.
So are you with or you against?
Hmm?
Are you with it or you against it? Like
With
working
it,
in
With
the office?
I hate it to be honest. Well, okay, I'm in the middle, right? Like I understand why they're doing it because there are some people who don't do shit when they work from home,
so you
right?
fire them
Like they'll
and
making
you don't
hella
like somebody
mistakes
that's
and
willing.
like doing a bunch of fucked up shit, and that kind of sucks. But for like somebody like me, like I love working from home because one, like I just feel like I'm way more productive because I can get way more done than having to drive
and deal with traffic, get into the office.
But next year, it might not be
Do
no
all that.
choice for a lot of people but to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
But do
Because
you? But
all
do
the
you?
things
So
happening throughout.
do you work with the
Yeah.
team?
He
Do
said,
you?
"Do
Do
you
you have
work
to?
with the team?"
Huh?
Do you work with a team? I'm asking.
Do I work with a team? Yeah, I do. And the fucked up part is my whole team works in California and they're all remote. I'm the only one in office at the, because like the company I work for got bought out by another company, so we have the mother company. I work in the corporate office there.
You're not in Texas, are you?
No, I'm in Colorado.
Okay. The only reason I was asking because that's some Texas ass shit. That's why I was
Fucking
asking.
right. That's what I said.
They swear she's
Well,
from
you live
Texas
in the
too.
cowboy state, so it's the same thing. It's like if you was living in Indiana, somewhere like that. The
Mm-hmm.
cowboy states, they don't.
They
It's
don't
right
care.
to work, and they gon' make sure you know you a slave.
That part.
Yeah, I
Like
was
I
just
said,
curious, because I know, working from home and working in the office and teamwork and all that stuff matters to performance and all that kind of stuff, creativity and all that stuff. So.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do get you do.
Okay,
It's
she in the island up here. I see
positive.
you. Why you
It
ain't
is a
tell
lot
us?
of positive things that come from actually being in person. There's certain things that like that is proven through just like studies that people in groups, physically together in groups, they become more productive. Uh,
Oh yeah, supposedly.
Mainly because
Antonio, what up?
they see each other and don't want to let each other down. Like you even have more like endurance or have better ideas being in a room or being held accountable by other people that you respect. Like it's just so I get it, but times are changing, and
Mm-hmm.
if we talking about cost of living and stuff like that, uh, next year it's gonna be even worse because gas is going don't know where it's gonna be, but it's no longer gonna be
It's not gonna be like how it's been. It's already close to $5 here,
yeah,
and that's
but
only
I'm
Yeah.
saying
February.
but Saudi Arabia is no longer going to sell oil with the petrodollar, which is the equivalent to the American
Mm-hmm.
dollar.
Yep.
Uh, so it's now going with they're now a part of the BRICS
The
alliance,
bricks. Yeah.
which means that like I don't know how much these oil companies are just gonna have to lose money because they're not gonna be able to charge 15 times more for gas. But that's the new currency is what that at right now before, and this is before the rest of the countries have signed allegiance to it. Right now, a BRICS dollar or whatever they're going to name that currency,
It's like
it takes
55.
55 US dollars
Yep.
to get one BRICS.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what, and BRICS is what the petrol and the minerals and everything, like most of the important things that are coming out of China, Africa, South America, Central America, and India, everything that's coming from there is going to be like, might as well say that they're going to be luxury items.
Exactly, bro. We are going to war. That's not just gonna happen so easily.
That's already happening.
It's
you
gonna
think
happen,
you think they're gonna
but
sit back and let that
America
shit
might
happen?
have to make a
You
move.
crazy. You think they're gonna sit back and let
I
them
got
take over the
10 minutes,
fucking
y'all. I'm sorry to
That's
tell
why
y'all.
I'm
I'm
like,
breaking
I'm gonna
news.
get the hell up out the country. I'm done.
I feel like if American leaders were smart, because African countries and no other countries want to meet with them anymore. But if
Mm-hmm.
you were smart, since y'all already really rig everything anyway, y'all would get somebody that's Russian friendly in the White House, so y'all can find y'all way to be a part of BRICS, so be at least be BRICS adjacent, so the American public don't have to suffer through the proxy war that we already fighting. The first proverbial shot was the trade was that what Trump did shot the first proverbial shot at China when he made sure, and not China, not him. It was him. I'm sorry. When he signed that bill that went into effect where they're taxing the people that work in China as American citizens. And
Mm-hmm.
then they also started taxing
Oh
like
no.
tremendously for anything coming in and out. So that was the first shot. We've been firing shots over here, but we live in a quote unquote secure place where we just really love to sleep and don't realize that the rest of the world uh despise our government.
Mm-hmm.
But we about to know now.
9 minutes, y'all.
What you got going on?
I got a dip today.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter
Go to
Squid.
this dinner.
What's up?
You got a date?
Oh,
Hi,
everybody want to pop up in
Kevin.
here? No, that's crazy. Ain't that what?
We got a few minutes left.
And Kevin, you got a date?
If it isn't my dough in the building,
hi, Kevin.
what's up? And you can still go to bed. I don't care if you said it first. You still go to bed.
Okay. I'm just doing the thing that I don't enjoy doing, which is in the
Driving.
vehicle. Yeah, I can't say that, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what's up? I'm at the beach. That's where I'm at.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, enjoying the
Ain't that a
sun.
beach?
Right? Look at
My
it.
gullible ass.
You're so silly.
What up, big bills?
Yeah. Y'all help keep me up, okay? Because I struggle to stay on the road.
We got 8 minutes to pick you up.
All right, we got 8 minutes. 8 minutes to tell us how about delusion, man. How you feel about this delusion that people forcing us to follow their delusional mentality?
Zatu.
I like she came in here with the thug version too.
Like, you stay in the world of delusion by yourself. I'll stay over here within the world of common sense, in the world of wanting a husband, in the world of, realizing reality is reality, knowing that sometimes you have to compromise certain things in order to get a good man. I'll stay on this side of the world, where I know how it is, not the delusional island that people have virtually exist in their mind, thinking, oh, everything is so great, everything is so
But
fine,
look,
everybody's
who am
gonna
I to
dance
tell
on
you that you're not
real.
in an island though? Who am
I
I?
mean, hey, you wanna
Cause
be
we
an
all
island?
not
Be an island
island.
by yourself and be miserable by yourself, but don't bring me with you. I'll be on
Right.
an island with my husband. You can be on
Hey,
an island by yourself and be miserable. I mean, if you wanna be miserable, like have at it. I'm not gonna tell you
Hey,
not
what's
to
going
be
on?
miserable.
I think the
Go
actual
ahead.
reality is where the island is, though, because there's more people living in the delusion than reality. When y'all brought up Steve Harvey, I think that really speaks to that because he done he done profited off of telling melanated women how to love, how to get a man, this, that, and the other, and men will steady be saying he done got married like 3, 4 times. Y'all listening to him? And now I wake up this morning and see that his wife done cheated on him with the pool boy, this, that, and the other, and she won't have, and she ready to tell it all. And
mm.
before this happened, things started falling down around Steve Harvey. He been playing quality control for about a year. Uh, so
Wait, I mean, I haven't listened to him. I never listened to him because I realized that some of this stuff he was spewing, we just didn't.
I
Antonio,
tell
you got a lot of noise, Antonio.
Antonio got a whole
Yeah.
airplane in that boy. Yeah, he do got it. We got 5 minutes to let him go too. Then I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna
But
see
yeah,
y'all
like I
soon.
mean, I never listened to him, but to be a man that on social media saying, like everything's perfect, your marriage is this, your marriage is that, and then it comes out it's not. Then it's just like, dang, like all the people that listen to him probably looking stupid now, but it's like we've been telling you he was working for certain people, like we've been like people don't understand that just because someone says something on social media does not mean it's true. Some people are living their life based on artists, singers, rappers, Steve Harvey, what's that other guy that does the talk shows? Based on those people's perception and the way that they talk, and the thing that the ideals that is spewed out. But what they don't understand is that it's just PR. I mean, okay, look at Kiki Palmer, right? I've been in conversation about how her relationship and what she was wearing, how it was inappropriate, and all that stuff. But here, all that, maybe boyfriend, whatever. She already had all like videos, like magazine covers. She basically got it on. She made our money, and they're together. Did y'all know they're together?
There's no signal at
They're
the
together.
beach.
They were on live. Yeah.
I thought she was
Did you
breaking
hear
up.
me?
I was trying to say, I seen her. Well, she's starting to clear up now, but you was breaking up for a second though. She done got too deep in the
You know
beach.
what? You know
Right.
what? You got jokes. You got jokes. That's why I'm at the beach. That's why my signal's not good. Okay.
Yeah, that boy was dropping for a second though. But I'm
Seriously, did y'all see
since I
Kiki
got
Palmer?
the Kiki Palmer.
Did y'all see Kiki Palmer and her man?
Yeah, we seen that. Yeah.
They're back live. Like, they're together. Like, she's like, you obsessed with Virgos, I'm a Virgo and all that. Like, and we thought there was something wrong with the relationship because we had a whole idea of what happened. It's called PR. Like, it's how they make their money. It's celebrity. Like, y'all stop listening to this celebrity nonsense. That's all.
Right. I feel you on that. Go ahead, Antonio. You got 2 good minutes. I got the dip. I'm sorry, y'all.
All right, check this out. It amazes me when we look at the people who act for a living and find out that they're acting.
Dang.
You know,
Big
so
facts.
how does this guy get? First of all, how do you tell somebody relationship advice when you pick the woman who used to be married to the ex king, drug cartel kingpin that y'all helped to get out of prison?
Oh, wow.
She's a hustler before she even met Steve Harvey. It's not a surprise that she's doing the things that she's doing to him because that's the way she's made. But with all the glitz and the glamour and all what the media puts out there, we keep forgetting this is all entertainment. So what happens when, as an entertainer, for the person that's viewing, I want to blur the actual entertainment where you don't even know whether it's reality or not?
That's that Hollywood magic. Man, that's crazy. Wait a
That's
minute.
something to
So
think about.
you do know like that Cheryl Strawberry, that her husband was a career criminal and Steve Harvey hooked her up with him. He put them together. And he was doing all type of nefarious stuff to women and children and stealing money. So he couldn't so his circle sound tainted. Not judging, just observing. Just observing, man. I ain't judging them because I don't know what the truth is, but that is the image
That's
that
something to
they're
think
being
about.
portrayed.
And if anybody have any doubts about that, go through and look up through YouTube and find that same scene from the movie that Will Smith and Chris Rock portrayed at the Oscars. Go find that movie clip, and it's to the exact T.
Oh, but no,
So
it was at the VMA Awards. Oh, you talking about that movie? I saw that too. I saw
no,
that.
yeah, yeah,
It was like
no,
a
at
year.
the
It was like
Oscars when it was the Oscars when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, right?
right. They do got a movie that
So
portrayed him.
listen, no. There's a movie. There's a '60s movie
Right,
that has that scene in there verbatim.
right. Now it was going around when it happened.
PR. Literally PR. People don't understand that. It's PR. This
Right.
is how you get press. What they say, any press is good press. Any press is good press. Because even if it's bad, you can make a deal out of it. People don't. You know what?
What was Chris Rock's comedy tour called? Ego Death. The biggest ego death is getting slapped in the face by another man and on live television. Like that when I found that out, I was like, I don't know what to believe right now. So he's going on tours. I found out about your tour because of this slap, and it's called ego death.
I mean, if you really just think about it, though, it's the Oscars. I'm sure they have some kind of security. Like, this man literally walked up and is allowed to slap the man in the face. And y'all really think, like, there's nothing behind the scenes with it.
But nobody think Will Smith no punk no more like they did. Everybody thought that he was a beta and he was a cuck. But now people not saying that. They saying he needs some mental attention and he got too much pent up anger. Like his whole narrative changed. Now he more of a bad boy in Hollywood than the little square good guy that he's been for like 30, 40 years, yo. He's been there for almost 40 years. He changed it with one action. I'm here for it though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm here for the theatrics because it's literally just for our entertainment anyway. I don't know none of these people. Uh I have no empathetic connection to none of these people, and I'm not trying to be like I'm sorry, that's just how they done made America where you don't look at celebrities as just regular people. I can't because they don't do regular people shit. I don't wish them no
It's
harm. It's
called the
just
lead
like
in
you never know what's real.
delusional island.
Right. Okay.
Do you think they would change your life for you, even though they're going through their shit?
No, nothing that they do will affect my life except for take something out of my pocket. Like that's their only goal is to make me spend some money on them or on one of their partners or something. So I mean, like, whenever I see you, that's your goal, like, because I don't know you in real life. I'm seeing you on TV, which is something I paid for to be advertised with. Like, that's all the TV, that's all the TV is something that you pay for so you can watch ads. Because that's all they care about you really watching. They don't, the artist cares about you watching their show and enjoying their music. But then how many of them are actually artists and how many of them are just performers that get paid? Who's really still an artist today? Artist and performer is different, if you ask me. I guess I was breaking up. Uh, I'm gonna call it, man. I'm about to enjoy this room. About to enjoy this house by myself and play some video games in peace. Alrighty, y'all.
I think Kev had to go, right?